$1,999. For license information, visit homedepot.com/license numbers. Valid through November 6, 2019.
125 seasons of Ole Miss football.
Caught by Deuce, he may go.
Under
Dexter
center.
breaks a tackle.
Mike Wallace between two defenders.
The tradition continues.
He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Ole Miss. Breaks a tackle. He's gone down the sideline. Touchdown, Ole Miss. He is a beast.
Saturday, Ole Miss battles Vanderbilt. Pre-game coverage starts at 4:30 with kickoff at 6:30 on your home for the Rebels.
Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
If you're the owner of a company and you're tired of a dirty office building, or maybe you're tired of dirty restrooms, or floors and carpets that are filthy, or windows that you can't even see through, I've got a solution. Let Trinity be your cleaning solution. Trinity Professional Services. They're putting professionalism back in cleaning. They specialize in stripping and waxing and buffing floors, in cleaning carpet. Just make it seem like it's spring outside. Window cleaning where you see through and everything shines. Commercial janitorial services specializing in final construction cleaning. Hey, the people that own this company, they are big construction people. They know what needs to be done. So if you would like it done the right way, call Todd Pope or Tommy Ferrari, the former Tiger quarterback, at 833-6773. 833-6773. It's Trinity. They're your cleaning solution.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. It's time for Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, and Brett Stats Norsworthy.
And a very pleasant good Friday afternoon to you on this football Friday afternoon, the 6th already of the year after tomorrow, halfway home of the college football season. That's almost hard to believe. I'm Brett Norsworthy. I am in Oxford, where tomorrow I will be doing the Ole Miss pregame with Richard Cross. We start at 4:30 right here on these very airwaves that you're listening to right now. 6:30 at kickoff tomorrow night against the Vanderbilt Commodores. Homecoming for Ole Miss, and I've already seen one of the honorees for homecoming tomorrow. The National College Football Hall of Fame will recognize tomorrow during a ceremony for Patrick Willis, and it was a lot of fun to catch up with him today. He looks like he could still play because he could have. He really retired, almost pulled the Jim Brown, Barry Sanders of the defensive side with the very early retirement that he had after his, I think that will lead to Canton Hall of Fame. He had enough, and he was able to walk away, and Patrick Willis did. But he'll be honored tomorrow night at the end of the first quarter. I know a lot of Ole Miss fans looking forward to welcoming him back. He loves getting back, starting to get back a little more now through the years after his great NFL career, all with the San Francisco 49ers. That's tomorrow night for me. Tomorrow afternoon for Dave, he will be in Monroe, Louisiana with the Tigers, calling all the action for the Tigers Network against ULM. He will join us after they arrive in Monroe. He will join us about 5:15 today. So it's just me and Drew to start it out today with a lot of baseball going on. Astros with 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th to get to a 2-0 lead over Tampa Bay. Drew, I have never had – you know my rushing statistic for college football and for NFL playoffs that I love so much?
Yeah, you do. Rush wins, what, 75% of the time?
About 75% of the time. It always beats for college football throughout the year and the bowl season. It always will beat the team. The team that rushes for the most yards wins the game about 75% of the time, and it always will win out over the year over the team that passes for the most yards. It's not the indicator anymore in the NFL in the regular season. You have to pass the football in the regular season for in the NFL, but you get to playoff time, colder games, a little tighter, and a lot better scout on everybody than maybe from the week-to-week stuff. A lot of reasons go into it. It still holds. I think I have stumbled onto my baseball nugget from a box score. Of course, what never fails is 100% of the time the final score. I know that. But I think I have found something in my baseball box scores. I'm on chart it this year, and it's a turn back to Little League. Get the ball in play. Hit the ball somewhere. Don't strike out. hit it somewhere and they might throw it away or they might misplay it or it might fall safely for a hit, whether it's a screaming line drive or something over the boards or if it's just a Texas League or a bloop single, something like that. But I think I have found it, and I think it's the team. When you get down to the pitching part of the box score, the team that strikes out the other team the most, the team with the pitchers that record the most strikeouts. Short sample size, I know, but through 4 finals for this set of playoffs, it's 3, 0, and 1. I'm going to count the ties too. So if you have as many or more, you win. So that would be 4-0. The tie was 12 strikeouts each for Tampa and for Oakland in the wild card game on Wednesday night. All the other games so far, again, short sample size, just 3 other games. When you strike out the other team, they can't do any damage. I mean, unless you have the pass ball on the strikeout, which is rare for catchers at this level. It does occur, and it once broke open a World Series game way back a million years ago in the 40s for someone. But you got to strike them out. That way, they can't. The damage will be it'll be 0. They will not only not be limited, it will be 0. So I'm going to keep up with that. What do you think of that nugget?
I think it's pretty right on because especially in today's age where we've given up on quote-unquote small ball and everybody's trying to get the Earl Weaver special, the 3-run home run where everybody's swinging for the fences and it's either a home run or a strikeout most of the time. It seems like that will be the ultimate statistic that kind of can show you who's going to win the game. That, and then obviously I think another one would be runners left on base because when you have guys in scoring position, when you actually have people that got base hits or walks or reached on a wild pitch or however you get onto base, that when you leave so many opportunities out there, it's going to bite you in the butt eventually.
It will. And yesterday's we talked about with Tim Doolin, one of the old baseball maxims, get them on, get them around, get them in, get them on, get them over, get them in. And last night, if the Cardinals were not lucky on many levels, all those runners left on base. I guarantee you that would be one that would go against it maybe for the whole playoffs. They left 17 base runners out there and all night couldn't come up with a big hit and then got them in bunches late and were really fortunate to hang on against Atlanta. I know Ronald Acuna is getting crushed today. Can't a young guy just have had that bad moment? I know he's had them regular season, and I know that Braves fans and even some of his teammates, it's just got to end. It's got to end that he does that, just kind of going into the ceremonial trot. But don't you feel like over the long haul of history, he will have a lot bigger moments that will make you forget that last night?
Yeah, he will. I mean, he's a guy that is going to have a long and great career in Major League Baseball, and young guys do young things. It happens. We? Yeah, I mean, we all make mistakes. I understand. Like you can be frustrated with them, and you might want to say something, but everybody makes mistakes sometimes, and he just happened to make one last night, and on a huge stage with the whole country watching. And I almost thought I set it up perfectly yesterday with Nick Markakis being the last batter last night. I thought, man, I'm the one that is going to give him the mojo to win the game in the 9th inning, and then he strikes out.
He was at the dish in the 9th, and Carlos Martinez, I don't know if they had left him in for many more batters because he was really wobbling in the 9th. But the Cardinals were able to get out and win that game last night, stake that 1-0 lead, and that is big. The numbers are overwhelming for a team that wins the first game, particularly on the road in these 3 out of 5 series. Now with the ace Jack Flaherty going today, the Astros have added on in their game against the Rays. They now lead 4-0. That feels like that might as well be 50 runs for Justin Verlander against Tampa Bay. I do like Tampa Bay's team, and I love that outfield. And I heard A.J. Przinsky, and I don't like to give him a whole lot of credit, but he made a good point about their deep. Might have been Joe Girardi even on the broadcast earlier, but one of the analysts about that outfield that they have to patrol at Tropicana Field. That's like covering the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, that ballpark is big and empty and uninspiring, and they have to get on their horse to get it next at center fielder Kevin Kiermaier and Tommy Pham in left, and they kind of rotate some and right. They can. Last night, near and far, it was some night in sports. We talked about the Cardinals in Atlanta, and the Braves fans, I know they want to try to battle back today and even it up. But last night at FedEx Forum, how was it, Drew? How much fun was it?
I kind of have mixed reviews. And I don't want to sound old sitting here at the ripe young age of 25, but
you are not old.
I know, but you and Dave yesterday were talking about how y'all aren't the demographic that Memphis Madness is trying to get. That y'all
You're
aren't
getting away from it.
I don't think I'm even a part of the demographic of it. I mean, the musical guests, they were good. I mean, wasn't really 100% my cup of tea, and I get it. It's a glorified pep rally. You can't really expect to really see anything on the court.
It's a recruiting part.
It really is. It's for those guys. I mean, the reason why Future, Little Baby, and the guys like that, and Moneybag Yo was there. The reason why those guys are there is because those are the recruits' favorite rappers. Those are who the recruits want to see. It doesn't really matter what me as Joe fan really wants to see. It's for them, and I understand that. But and I had the same complaint last year during the scrimmage. Do we really need the on-court narrator not contributing really anything, just basically saying a bunch of nonsense? I personally don't like it. I had conversations.
Kind of a house DJ?
Yeah, kind of. I had conversations with people after. They said, well, what would you expect them to do? Well, just have the PA guy just say who scored, like a normal game. I don't need a guy going, what, first 48 1,000 times throughout the game and just making total nonsense. I mean, maybe it's cool to the younger demographic. And once again, I sound like I'm 65 or older, but I think
I'd had more fun than you did.
I think you might have. I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I loved it. I loved the intros. Wasn't really too keen on the outfits they wore. I think Cam Newton might have been the stylist for the Memphis Tigers last night with the suit jackets and the suit shorts, I guess is what you would call them. But once again, it's not for me, but I was glad that I was there. And the biggest problem that I found is, even though technically it was a sellout, I think last night's events got scalped way too hard. I mean, so with the ticket prices being so low, I remember great crowd, but wasn't close to a sellout. Wasn't close to 18,119 in the building. There's probably about 15,000, and going into FedEx Forum last night, you saw about at least 25 scalpers with each having 25 to 50 tickets in their hand, trying to give them out. And I also know a few people and it's their right to do. They want to buy the ticket and they want to try to sell it, but I knew people that bought tickets just to resell them, knowing that they couldn't go, trying to make a profit off of it, which I personally do not like. I think if you're going to buy a ticket, it should be because you want to go and you personally are going to sit in that ticket. And if you can't go, give it away. Give it to somebody that can't afford it, somebody that can't go to the game, that wouldn't be able to go to these type of events without you helping them out. And I just think it got scalped way too hard.
Wow. How full was it inside the building?
Like I said, I'd say about 15, but
that's great.
Yes, but it was real spotty. I mean, even the lower bowl had a few sections that were a little thin. The club level had some thin sections. The upper level, I think in 2 or 3 sections, maybe only 10 people in each.
Huh. Were people throwing down in skyboxes?
Yeah, there are people in skyboxes. I don't know how. I think that might just came with the season tickets, but
yeah.
But as far as the crowd was great, the 15 that was there it was a little underwhelming when you were told it was a sellout, and it just didn't look like it. But I mean, I had fun. It was a great event. I don't want to try to beat it down too much because, like I said, it's not for me. Hopefully the recruits there last night, they had a great time. They had a blast, and they're going to want to sign with the University of Memphis because that's really what it's for.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's for. And, if you get one top-flight recruit out of the night, then whatever they did turns into magic, because we know the zero-sum game of recruiting. There's no silver medal. There's no bronze medal. There's only gold. There's only pass or fail, and they were trying to appeal to them. And I mentioned it yesterday. That night is the basketball version of trying to make spring football sexy and exotic, and it's very difficult to do, and the Tigers have mostly been able to do it, but it sounded like mostly fun had by mostly all. I'm with you on the scalpers. Look, I love ingenuity and creativity and the ability to make some money, but you really need to make a big profit off of Memphis Madness night.
I know a guy who
times that tough.
I know a guy who bought 2 lower bowl tickets for $10 each and then tried to turn around and sell them for $90 a pop.
Did he?
I don't think he did.
I wonder what he ended up getting out of them.
He probably ended up giving them away. Last I heard.
Well, then he lost. The marketplace has a way of working.
Yeah, the market won. It beat him.
Market one, that fan zero for that last night. This weekend's college football schedule. Look, I think every weekend has its assets and has its fun games, but this one in the top 25 looks like it's not going to be a lot shaky. You got 1 and 2 at the top, Alabama and Clemson both out. Some could say Georgia has an open date. Ooh, that's a shot at Tennessee, isn't it?
It is, but as you're going to find out during our Friday, First National Bank and Trust Friday football forecast, it's not really a shot because I've got them in my picks.
I got them in my picks too. When I saw you, when you sent me your picks, I said, "Oh, look at there, we got one of the same ones." But Georgia, they play at Tennessee. Ohio State at home against Michigan State. They haven't lost at home in 4 years, and that was against Michigan State when they did that 4 years ago. LSU at home against Utah State. That's going to be a fun game with Jordan Love for Utah State against Joe Burrow. LSU may not, other than when they play Tua, and if they got to a SEC championship game against Jake Fromm, I don't know that LSU sees a quarterback better than Jordan Love at Utah State the rest of this year. I know they won't when they play Florida. I know they won't when they play State. They won't because of the youth of Bo Nix when they play Auburn. I mentioned Tua. They will. They won't when they play Ole Miss. They won't against Arkansas, and they won't against Kellen Mond. Kellen Mond last week against Arkansas, I think, showed that he is pretty shaky. I'm not so sure Nick Starkel's not better. I don't know why Nick Starkel and A&M fell out so badly after I think he was a bowl game MVP in the Music City Bowl, threw for almost 500 yards in his last game at A&M, and he has shown some signs at Arkansas. But again, in the top 10, Oklahoma, they're at Kansas. Nobody's expecting that. Auburn and Florida, that's one of the big ones, but that's the only top 10 matchup. And not many when you get down in the second 10, in 11 through 20 and even through 25 that are that good of games. I think tonight's UCF at Cincinnati game is one of the better games of the weekend, Drew.
I completely agree, and I think that we're going to find out that even though Central Florida lost at Pitt and late in the fourth quarter, I think they're going to re-show their dominance, especially on a national stage tonight on ESPN at 7 o'clock, that they are still just as good as we thought they were going into the season. And I think we're going to be surprised that maybe Cincinnati's just not as good. Maybe getting exposed like that at Ohio State is really who they are. And, maybe I don't have a lot of faith in Cincinnati right now. And it's
a little wobbly with them.
It's too wobbly with them. They don't have a very good base and structure underneath them at this point. But I think it's going to be a good game. I think Central Florida probably wins in the double digits, but hopefully Cincinnati can make it a game.
Loser over the top rope out, aren't they? DQ'd.
Oh yeah, definitely. Completely out.
DQ'd for the East and can really only play spoiler for that much. From the Tigers' perspective, from your perspective, as a loyal Tiger fan, proud graduate of U of M, who are you for in that game? Is it any math for you that really concerns the Tigers?
I don't think you really need to bring in math right now, especially since the Tigers are undefeated, still completely in control of their own destiny. But if I had to choose, especially since we are closing out the season against Cincinnati at home, I'm rooting for UCF. I want them as good and as highly ranked as they possibly can be at the end of the season so that we can ultimately finally get the revenge that we've been seeking out the last 3-4 years.
and maybe even be able to do it at Liberty Bowl Stadium on that first Saturday in December. I think that should be the math. I think Tiger fans should be pulling for UCF because it also still brings that national that national aplomb, that national cachet. With UCF, they still have that. So if they stayed up there, even with that nicked up loss at Pitt, and I don't think a great Pitt team at all. I don't even think a very good Pitt team. They're 3-2 with losses to Virginia and to Penn State, a narrow win over Central Florida, a narrow win over Ohio, and a narrow win over Delaware. But I do think it helps the cachet of the league. Again, Dave will join us about 5:15 or so when the Tigers hit Monroe for the game tomorrow, 2:45 for the Tigers tomorrow. I'm in Oxford, and Drew is in our Family Leisure studio back in Memphis.
Yes, sir. I am here in the Family Leisure studio where family and fun come together. Huge discounts on all spas. Now is the time to buy. Over 50 spas in stock and ready to ship. 8,000 spas, now only $4,499. Four-person spas starting at $24.99. Swim spas from $89.99. Lowest prices all year. Special financing is available. That's at Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40.
And the Cardinals and the Braves will have game 2. First pitch will be 3:37 Central Time tonight, 6:07. The Twins in the Bronx against the Bombers, against the New York Yankees. And late tonight, the Dodgers in Game 2 after really dispatching quite easily of the Nationals last night. Game 2 tonight will be at 8:37. That game will be on TBS. That's the late game. I got a late afternoon game, so I can stay up all night tonight and watch baseball. I love this day when 4 games are going. Lexus of Memphis brings you this hour every day for us, and we so appreciate it. 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. 901-362-8833. Give them a call. Lexus of Memphis offering the Golden Opportunity Fall Sales Event. Great offers on the few remaining 2019s. The 2020s are rolling in, and they always have special lease options. If you've ever thought I'd look great in a Lexus, well, guess what? Lexus of Memphis thinks you would look great in one of their beautiful cars as well. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2020 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and driving great. Lexus of Memphis, the high standards in the industry. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and that makes for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. 362-8833. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, Drew, my top story is a wild game won for St. Louis last night over the Braves. 17 base runners stranded for the Cardinals. Atlanta had a 3-1 lead that turned into a 7-3 deficit that turned into an eventful ninth inning, and the Cardinals were able to win. Game 2 about to start in best-of-5 series. Game 1 winners, they've won 95 of 132 times for the Game 1 winner. They've gone on to win the series. That's 72%. And in the current 2-2-1 home field advantage format, Game 1 road winners, they've won 28 of 40, or 70%. So you got about a 70% chance for the Cardinals to win this series, and they're sending their ace out there today in Jack Flaherty. This is his time to really enter Cardinal love affair lore, and he's got a long career in front of him. He's like Ronald Acuna. If he came apart tonight, he's going to win a lot of October games for the Cardinals. But to stake his claim to go up 2-0 and head back to red-clad St. Louis on Sunday with the ultimate house money. What's your top story?
Well, I was going to talk about the Tommies of St. Thomas University in Minnesota for my top story of the day, but Barrett Sallee breaking now on Twitter and on CBS Sports that Tennessee has dismissed linebacker Jeremy Banks from the program after the footage of his arrest surfaced earlier this week. Jeremy Pruitt made in a statement saying, "I have made the decision to remove Jeremy Banks from our football program. While I will continue to support Jeremy in the next stage in his life, information I recently received made it clear that this decision is in the best interest of the football program and the university."
I don't think many can argue with it. When we talk high school football at 4:30 with Glenn Rogers, Jeremy Pruitt with a push. Never mind who they have committed to. A couple already committed to Arkansas or leaning to Arkansas. He's coming hard after those at Whitehaven linebacker trio. I think he was in person at the game last Friday night and making a lot of attempts to sign the Whitehaven trio at linebacker for Tennessee for sure. So we'll talk with Glenn Rogers about that. Not top story of the day.
Not top story of the day.
So much for the Rams' easy stroll to another NFC West title. 53 last week, 30 last night. They gave up 85 in the last 5 days by that ballyhoo defense. Todd Gurley with only 20 carries in the last 2 games. I say way too much passing. Run Todd Gurley. It's why you paid him so much. I know last week against a surprising effort against Tampa Bay, and then last night at a tough place to play and win. Pete Carroll is some solid coach, isn't he?
Oh, he really is. You can never underestimate Pete Carroll in Seattle. I was a little shocked of how that game turned out. I've been shocked all year about the Rams. They just haven't looked like the same team from last year. Haven't looked anywhere close to right.
You're not top story.
My not top story could be the not top story of all year, because every time his name gets brought up, it's definitely in a not top story situation. Conor McGregor, he has been charged with assault for punching a man in Dublin, Ireland, in the bar. In the video that went viral last April, the assault charges carries a maximum prison term of 6 months if convicted and a fine of $1,646 or both.
67129, our First Bank text line. 360-8255, our First Bank phone line. In First Bank, they're there to help you, whether you're a business looking for a loan to expand or refinance an existing one, a homeowner looking for a mortgage or a home equity line, a consumer wanting to finance your dream car, wanting a competitive rate on CD deposits. Let First Bank try to handle your banking needs. Stop into one of First Bank's 4 local branches, the one by International Paper, one in Germantown, Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and Highway 64 in Oakland, or check them out online at firstbankonline.com. All the Memphis bankers at First Bank are Memphis bankers with deep Memphis roots in banking and business experience and expertise. They know what you need. You need a reliable, trustworthy banker that can give you an answer, that make decisions about you, for you, right here in Memphis. Not in Birmingham, not in Atlanta, not in Knoxville, not in Nashville, but right here in Memphis. Visit firstbankonline.com. That's firstbankonline.com, 360-8255 or 67129. Proud and really appreciate First Bank for being with us. When we come back, we go to Vegas. Actually, I think we go to the Bay Area where Bruce Marshall will be. He's going to visit grandchildren and go to the Cal-Washington game. The Cal-Oregon game in the Bay Area. Maybe the Stanford game. He's going to some game in the Bay Area tomorrow. He'll talk about that game he's going to attend. And the whole weekend, Bruce has been hot all year, especially NFL. I think he's got 1 NFL loss all year. Bruce Marshall from the Gold Sheet. He's next. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7, and 96.1.
The Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Only on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
There's a new commissary in town. In Collierville, Germantown Commissary is doubling. Yeah, they're still going to have the old Germantown Commissary by the tracks, but now there's a huge new Germantown Commissary in Collierville at Poplar and Houston Levee Road. It's huge, too. There's a drive-through. There's plenty of parking. No telephone pole to get in your way. A cool patio. It's right by the track, so the tradition continues. And this is a tradition that's been around forever. That commissary is famous for hickory-smoked, slow-cooked Memphis-style barbecue. They've got a private party room at the new one in Collierville. Self-catering still continues. Party packs for $5.95. Basically, the great ribs, the great pulled shoulder, the great deviled eggs. Everything is there in Collierville and Germantown now. So there is now a Germantown and Collierville style of barbecue. It's called Germantown Commissary. If you're the owner of a company and you're tired of a dirty office building, or maybe you're tired of dirty restrooms, or floors and carpets that are filthy, or windows that you can't even see through, I've got a solution. Let Trinity be your cleaning solution. Trinity Professional Services. They're putting professionalism back in cleaning. They specialize in stripping and waxing and buffing floors, in cleaning carpet, just make it seem like it's spring outside. Window cleaning where you see through and everything shines. Commercial janitorial services specializing in final construction cleaning. Hey, the people that own this company, they are big construction people. They know what needs to be done. So if you would like it done the right way, call Todd Pope or Tommy Ferrari, the former Tiger quarterback, at 833-6773. 833-6773. It's Trinity. They're your cleaning solution.
Hi, this is Troy Five Ash, owner of Five Ash Roofing. It's an exciting time to be a Memphis Tiger fan, and we at Five Ash Roofing have decided to share our excitement. We are proud members of the Tigers home team, which means we sponsor the Tigers athletic department, and we're also season ticket holders to both the football and basketball programs. We will be giving away 2 and sometimes 4 tickets to most of the games this coming year. To have a chance at winning the tickets, find our Facebook page, like, and share our post. The more you share, the more chances you have to win. We also want to give away some tickets to those who wouldn't otherwise get a chance to go. So, you can go to memphisroofer.com or 5ash.com and send us a note why you or someone you know should get the tickets. And as always, 5Ash Roofing is fair, honest, and ethical. We're experts in all forms of roofing for both residential and commercial buildings. 5Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Dirt happens, as well as debris, dust, and damage. And when they happen to you, you need good, clean, fast service. You need Hilo Commercial Services. Hilo specializes in construction, commercial, food plant, and industrial cleaning with customized service just for you. Hilo is also an expert at high dusting to clean hard-to-reach places. When dirt happens, call Hilo Commercial Services, 901-277-6733, or visit HiloCommercial.com. Hilo Commercial Services, good, clean, and fast for you.
Get your gun, Nelly, and saddle up Penelope. It's Western Trading Days at Sunrise Buick GMC. Old-time trading prices on over 700 new Buicks and GMC trucks, and the Sunrise Used Car Corral has over 500 in stock. Branch managers have been told to cut prices to the bone, and remember, you can bring your car to Sunrise Service no matter where you bought it. If you're a good person with bad credit, SunriseMemphis.com will help you put one of your brand on these little fillies. Free hot dogs and Cokes at the Chuck Wagon. Western Trading Days going on now at all 3 Sunrise locations. We make it fun to buy a car again.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Wolochin and Brett Noseworthy.
Dave will join us from Monroe after he safely arrives, about 5:15. Bruce Marshall, he is in the Bay Area visiting grandchildren. He will go to the Stanford-Washington game. That should be a good football game to watch. I know he's looking more forward to seeing those grands than anything else, but I know one thing he won't be able to get in the Bay Area, and that's that great Memphis-style barbecue that we have all the time at either commissary, either Collierville Commissary at Houston Levee and Poplar or the original commissary in Germantown. Memphis-style barbecue and ribs that are delicious and authentic Memphis-style great food. Begin your barbecue feast with some great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales or the barbecue nachos. The smoked chicken wings are fantastic and perfect for game watching tomorrow. Start your tailgating at the commissary, either in Collierville or in Germantown. Then you can dig into the ribs of the barbecue shoulder, get it chopped or pulled on a sandwich, a gigantic sandwich, or you can get it on a plate. It comes with beans, slaw, deviled eggs, bread as well, and you can even order it by the pound or a 6-pack that we give away often on trivia, or an 8-pack or a 12-pack. The Boss Man salad, so very good. The chicken plate, the barbecue shrimp, the wonderful tamales, and you can wrap it up with the best lemon icebox pie anywhere. And that's at the Germantown Commissary or the Collierville Commissary for game watching, for your group, for Sunday. If you want to have your Steelers club or your Cowboys club or Packers or any group of fans, perfect place to do it would be at the new Collierville Commissary, 754-5540, online at commissarybarbecue.com in Collierville and Germantown in the great party areas. Walker Taylor has done it the right way, and I also want to let you know, never too early to start thinking about the 36-hour bird at holiday time from the Germantown Commissary are the Collierville commissary. We go to the Bay Area now to Bruce Marshall from the Goal Sheet for all the insight on this weekend's games. Bruce, so you're going to be at Stanford and Washington in Palo Alto, right?
Yeah, and I wish we had a tailgate like you guys have in Memphis. This wine and cheese stuff up here is not for me, but, I just got to roll with the punches this weekend.
And, Bruce, I'm going to miss you in Oxford this weekend. You have been my guest before for Vanderbilt and Ole Miss. I will miss you this weekend.
Yes, 2010, the short-lived Jeremiah Masoli reigned for Ole Miss, and Vanderbilt came in there with a rare win. In fact, that day I saw Vandy in the day and Memphis at night. And
That's right.
That was the year Memphis and Vandy, between them, had 3 wins that year, and I was to 2 of them in the same day because Memphis beat Mitsu that night. So I remember that very well, yeah.
You were the good luck for the Doors and the Tigers that year. Bruce, I think my 2-in-1-day days are over. I just can't do it anymore. But both time and difficulty with other duties and nearing the Social Security retirement years.
Yeah, a lot of things we're not able to do like we used to do, that's for sure.
That is for sure. Let's start with the game that you're going to watch. Washington, I had them in the college football 4. I was trying to be different. Look what it got me. They got nicked up in week 2 by Cal. Can they somehow wind their way back into the picture?
It's going to be really hard for them. I mean, Oregon actually might have a more believable path, but that's going to require Auburn really running the table, almost running the table, and then maybe losing right at the end. Washington does not have that sort of heft, even a loss in its non-conference schedule. It's a pretty weak non-conference schedule. Once again, Washington did this to itself and lost the game to Cal anyway. They may still win the Pac-12. I think they are the best team in the North. They've come together the last couple of weeks really nice. They're catching Stanford hurting. Still not sure about Costello's status. When you got a bum thumb, if you're a quarterback, it's not like a lineman. You can play with a thumb injury. When you're a quarterback, you can't. They may have to go to Davis Mills once again. He didn't look too bad last week, and Stanford got a win, a game that almost blew up at Oregon State. But they've pumped this point spread up near 17. It might be a bit high. Washington's going to win the game, I think, but I don't think Stanford will get run out of Palo Alto tomorrow night.
Stanford plus the 17.5 over UW, really liking the points at the farm for Stanford. All right, let's go local. Tigers and ULM tomorrow at 2:45 down in the humidity of Monroe. What's new? It's been the hottest start of college football season I can ever remember. It's abated a little, but not a lot. Tigers and UL Monroe, the Warhawks.
Yeah, I think, the Tigers are showing some, the win over Navy was good. They're in position to fight. And then, the Americans got 3 teams, I think, that are going to be in the mix for this New Year's Six bowl bid, UCF, SMU, and the Tigers. I don't think they'll slip up tomorrow. The defenses are playing at a very high level this year. And you saw, ULM really have some problems a few weeks ago when it had to step up at Iowa State. Caught the Cyclones mad, but you don't give up 72 points to anybody if you don't have a few problems. So I just think ULM is going to get outmanned a little bit tomorrow. We're going to take Memphis to keep it going. Updated score forecast, 36-14 Memphis. I think the defense shuts down the Warhawks tomorrow, and Coach Norvell gets another win as we ramp it up into American play, which starts in earnest coming up.
Goal Sheet says Tigers big overall this year on Fridays with us, Bruce. 25-15 with us on Friday afternoon. 8-1, a sterling 8-1 in the NFL, picking games with us on Friday afternoon. Really good in college, but outstanding in the NFL. We'll get to some NFL games, but the big game tomorrow, Florida hosting Auburn. That's game day. That's CBS, and Auburn's favorite on the road at the Swamp.
My recommendation here would be under. They got the total at 48.5. These are 2 primo defenses here. That's what's going to carry Florida this year. Todd Grantham's defense, they really come pressure from the edges there. This is going to be a test for Bo Nix tomorrow, and he's passed a couple of them already, pulled them back to win that game at Oregon. He didn't have to do a lot of the game at Texas A&M. He may have to do a little bit more tomorrow, and it's going to be tough to do that against this Grantham defense. On the other side, though, Auburn's defensive front is robust, to say the least. And Kyle Trask, maybe he's an update from Felipe Franks. He talked to some NFL people, and they're looking at Trask, and when he's pressured, he really seems to not be able to deliver. That sounds a lot like Franks, really. So I don't know that Dan Mullen has the sort of quarterback to win games like this. They did beat Miami in the opener, but they're relying an awful lot on defense this year. And listen, Gus has got things going. He's already won at Arlington. He's already won at College Station. We've seen him run off these streaks before. They looked great against Mississippi State last week. So I think Auburn will get it here. 24-16 score forecast Auburn, but the real recommendation there, under 48.5. I think that's too high for two really good defenses tomorrow in the Swamp.
So the side goes to Auburn as the road favorite, and the under the really desired play, Auburn and Florida under 48.5. The big national game, big Ten game, Ohio State at the Horseshoe hosting Michigan State. They haven't lost a home game since losing to Mark D'Antonio Spartans in 2015. The Ohio State offensive line, Bruce, they are something else. I think it is one of the most – I mean, it's almost like the vintage Alabama O-lines in 12, 13, and 14 with Memphi and Barrett Jones and DJ Fluker and the Keongios. This Ohio State Buckeye line is really something.
Yeah, it is, and they're bloodying up some people, and Justin Fields is taking advantage too. I mean, they're playing angry right now too, and Ryan Day's got them at a fever pitch. Now, I think this is the toughest test they've had. Although those are some decent teams. Indiana's not that bad. Nebraska is okay. Cincinnati's pretty good, and they're just destroying these teams. So I'm not sure that the Michigan State's going to fare too much better tomorrow. The last 2 years, the combined score 74-9. In a series that D'Antonio had performed actually pretty well at beating Ohio State a couple of times, including that 2015 game that you mentioned just a moment ago. But Lewerke, the quarterback, has been erratic. I'm not sure he can do enough here, but this defense is pretty robust. And I think they'll give Ohio State its biggest argument of the year. They have really pumped this number up there a bit too high. And even though the Buckeyes would have covered this the last 2 years, I'm not sure they're going to do it here. We had a 31-16 Ohio State. I want to see how they react when they really get challenged. I mean, everything has gone their way thus far, and you know the way that goes. And if they've got a blink or if they fall behind in a game, let's see how they react. Might happen tomorrow. Michigan State, I think, will hang around, but 31-16 Buckeyes win, but maybe not cover that big price.
So you like the big number more than anything else, but you are very impressed by Ohio State. In the preseason, I had Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, and Washington in my college football Final Four, and I feel pretty good about 3 of the 4. Washington, I think that's done. Not so sure that Ohio State's not the best of the 4. Tennessee hosts Georgia tomorrow. They got beat 41-0 2 years ago in this spot. Georgia's a big favorite. Tennessee has kicked a linebacker off the team. It has been a nightmare, and it's not even close. It's the first Saturday in October, and it's a nightmare for Tennessee. Georgia at Tennessee, Kirby Smart versus Jeremy Pruitt.
Yeah, wait till they get that third Saturday in October, and it'll really get bad. That effort against Florida a couple weeks ago was one of the worst. I just saw no spark from Tennessee whatsoever. The unthinkable might not be that unthinkable right now. I mean, Jeremy Pruitt, there's a lot of people who are very angry at the way this hire has worked out. Pruitt has not endeared himself to anybody there. There's even been rumors, and you guys have talked about it, but the Phil Fulmer stepping back in. Fulmer has denied it, but on an interim basis, maybe pull a Barry Alvarez like he did in the bowl a couple of years ago. But this shows the level of angst there with the way the volunteer program is just spinning its wheels here. And Pruitt thus far has not done anything to make it look like he was the right hire after that mess of the coaching search 2 years ago. The only reservation I have a little bit is I think Kirby Smart sometimes coaches a little tight and coaches not to lose. But I don't know that Tennessee's going to do much against this defense here. And losing contact has been something Tennessee has had a problem with a lot here the last couple of years. If Georgia wants to get this margin, I think it will. 45-16 Bulldogs. We just don't want to mess with Tennessee. Also, we'll see what they do at the quarterback spot, but they've got bigger problems than that, and there's bigger problems in this program right now. And this is sort of like the UCLA of the SEC, unless it's Arkansas. So, you got to Chip Kelly, Chad Morris, Jeremy Pruitt, some of the class of 2018 head coaches not doing the job, and this guy's right at the top of that list.
Not vintage for sure. So the Georgia Bulldogs laying that big number on the road against Tennessee. You have a favorite college game that we haven't discussed?
Yeah, this one is interesting here. I'm going to give Air Force a shot against Navy tomorrow. The Air Force thinks it should have beaten Boise a couple weeks ago. Navy's quarterback, you saw him last week, got knocked out of the game. He might give it a go tomorrow. But I think this is a special Air Force team this year, and I think they may bring the commander-in-chief back to back to Colorado Springs. This is the best Air Force defense we've seen in a long time. I don't think they know what Navy does with the option, and they're opening up the offense a little bit. There's one other angle, too, here. The Force will play this for the beloved Aurora, their Falcon mascot. 23 years old, passed away this week. They're going to win one for Aurora, and they'll go into Annapolis and win. I think they're going to bring the Commander-in-Chief back to the Springs this year. So 34-24, Air Force tomorrow against Navy.
Air Force favored on the road, laying the 3.5 at the Naval Academy in Annapolis tomorrow. So you like the Air Force, and you're right about the mascot. All right, NFL got Dak versus the Pack on Sunday. Dak Prescott against the Green Bay Packers, Cowboys and Packers.
Yeah, well, the only good thing for Cowboy fans is this game is not at Lambeau Field, so they'll probably be spared video reminders and TV highlights of past playoff nightmares up there on the frozen tundra. But is that going to help them this week against the Pack? We will see. Aaron Rodgers, they made some mistakes last week, and I think Matt LaFleur, the coach, will second guess himself for some of the play calling down by the goal line. But it looks like Aaron Rodgers is getting a little bit the hang of this offense. 422 yards passing last week. And oh, by the way, Dallas, you wonder why Jerry was holding off on this extension for Dak. He wanted to see what he did against some real teams. So the schedule's gotten a lot tougher for Dallas since that opening trio. And it didn't work out too good at New Orleans last week. And apparently Dak and Jerry are no closer to a deal today. So win for Jerry there, I think. And I don't think that's going to get solved anytime soon. Anyway, we're going to take Green Bay 28-21. I think Dallas was a bit exposed last week. And we kind of like Aaron Rodgers as a dog, as long as he's healthy, and he is. And I think the Pack is the way to look.
Bruce, we're up against the time, so one more real quick on a few baseball thoughts. On Sunday, the rematch of the Music City Miracle, the Buffalo Bills in Nashville to play the Titans at noon.
Might be Matt Barkley in there at quarterback for Buffalo, but that's not a downgrade. Much like Chase Daniel in there for the Bears. I don't think they're going to be a downgrade at all with Barkley. They won a game with him last year against the Jets when he walked in off the street. This is a real defense. I am not a big Marcus Mariota fan right now. I don't know that Derrick Henry gets established on the ground like he did last week, which really helped in that game against the Falcons. And if he can't do that, Buffalo's defense, I think, can dictate this thing. Titans have been very erratic, back and forth. And we're going with Buffalo here, 21-16 in Music City.
Buffalo wins straight up 21-16 over Titans. Real quick, any big overarching views on the baseball this weekend? Anything you like, any trend?
I've watched a lot of runs to be scored in that Twins-Yankee series. Look some overs there. The last 3-game set they played in late July in Minneapolis, 57 runs scored over 3 games. This is in the first 2 in the Yankee Stadium, but I think an over in this one tonight is the way to look.
That sounds good. Bruce, tell us more about the Gold Sheet and how to get more of this great information and your Twitter site, please.
Thank you, Brett. Check us out online, goldsheet.com. All those games this week, and the new issue coming out on Monday. We'll be talking about Oklahoma, Texas, and USC Notre Dame. Going back in the memory banks next week's Gold Sheet on Monday. Goldsheet.com, my picks there. Also Vegas Insider, DonBet.best.com, Twitter at Bruce A. Marshall. Hey, NFL picks, 29-10 run at the Gold Sheet.
And enjoy the grandchild in the Bay Area this weekend, Bruce Marshall. Thank you. We'll do it again next Friday. Thank you, Bruce.
Oh, okay, Brett.
You got it. Bruce Marshall with the Gold Sheet with us every Friday, and we love visiting with him. When we come back, we'll talk with John David Bedour from the Memphis Touchdown Club. They had Chad Morris last week. They have the Arkansas State head coach Blake Anderson coming up. We'll visit with him about that. That's next. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find Real Sports Talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
You're scrambling around. You need a haircut. Where you gonna go? I got a place that has 15 locations. I've got a place where details matter. I've got a place that can be invigorating and relaxing at the same time. You know what it is. It's Supercuts. Every haircut ends with the signature hot towel finish. Every haircut matters. When you're getting ready, you go into Supercuts. The stylist will pay attention to every detail. So you get the haircut you want, and of course, you're going to finish with that signature hot towel. You walk out clean, sharp, and not just ready, but super ready. And you might want to ask that hairstylist about what the tea tree experience is. One part invigorating, 1 part relaxing. The Tea Tree experience is something you need to try. 15 locations. I mentioned that, didn't I? All you've got to do is go to supercuts.com. You'll find the one nearest to you. Get super ready at Supercuts.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Did you notice your water heater not heating as well last winter? During the cold winter months, the groundwater is colder and requires more energy to heat the water, and sometimes old, inefficient tanked water heaters just can't keep up. It may be time for a tankless water heater from Conway Services that never runs out of hot water. Conway Services is making now the perfect time for a new tankless water heater with 24 months to pay, interest-free. Or I'll pay you $250 for that old tanked water heater. Plus, these energy-saving models only heat the water you use, saving you money on your gas bill every month. And no more worrying about that tank bursting in your attic either. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier tankless water heater professionals at 384-3511. That's 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old water heater will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
Okay, so what comes in a rib box?
We'll put whatever you want in the rib box. We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen.
How do you guys ship these ribs?
We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together. So the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Get your gun, Nelly, and saddle up Penelope. It's Western Trading Days at Sunrise Buick GMC. Old-time trading prices on over 700 new Buicks and GMC trucks, and the Sunrise Used Car Corral has over 500 in stock. Branch managers have been told to cut prices to the bone, and remember, you can bring your car to Sunrise Service no matter where you bought it. If you're a good person with bad credit, SunriseMemphis.com will help you put one of your brand on these little fillies. Free hot dogs and Cokes at the Chuck Wagon. Western Trading Days going on now at all 3 Sunrise locations. We make it fun to buy a car again.
Do you want to learn to speak a new language but don't have enough time? Then you need to try Babbel, the language learning app that you can try for free right now at Babbel.com. Babbel's lessons are just 15 minutes or less, and you can go at your own pace. You'll be amazed at how easy Babbel makes it. Start your first lesson in the language of your choice for free. Just download the Babbel app or go to Babbel.com now. That's Babbel.com.
Now, back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
They were calling the Razorbacks at the Memphis Touchdown Club last week after a near miss. Boy, they played so well against Texas A&M to come up just a little bit short, but Coach Chad Morris was in Memphis at the Memphis Touchdown Club, and we've talked about with John David Baddour, we know why. He wants those linebackers at Whitehaven, and so do the Tennessee Vols, John David Baddour. A lot of people heading to Memphis, and this coming Monday night on October 7th, you'll be cheering for the Red Wolves of Arkansas State University as Blake Anderson comes to Memphis. Good afternoon, John David.
Absolutely. Good afternoon to you. Yeah, Blake's coming back to speak with us, and what a good guy. I'm telling you, the last time he was here, he told a story that when he was a very young coach at a small school, that he and Wendy didn't have a lot of money, and they lived in the dorm to have a place to live because he wasn't making much. And their big date night out was Wednesday night when they had rib night for all the players. and
what a love story.
It is, and it's such a tragic event, but we welcome Blake back and look forward to what he has to say. Well, we're going to be at the Butcher Shop on Germantown Parkway this Monday night. It's going to be a good time. If you want information, anybody's welcome. Go to tdcmemphis.com. Go to the the pay page. It's $40. Go over to where it says Alumni Special and sign up. If there's any problem, go to Contact Us and fill out the form, and we'll get right back with you.
And I think it'll be a fun night to hear his very moving story, his loving tribute to now, sadly, his late wife and what she went through, and he held himself up so well. And he's also just a really darn good football coach with a good team. They're 3-2. They play, guess who they play tomorrow? They play Georgia State. John David, they play at Georgia State tomorrow. He is now the dean of coaches, of Sun Belt head coaches. You know, for years, it was just a conveyor belt of coaches at Arkansas State. They'd get in there and win. They'd get in there and then get out. He's gotten in there and won and stayed in his 6th year. He's won 42 football games at Arkansas State, has not had a losing season, been to 5 straight bowls. He's going to go to another bowl this year. And the footprint and the facilities at Arkansas State in Jonesboro, it has really been elevated. It's something to see over there. And I think it'll be a fun night with him, not just the emotional, stirring tribute to his wife, but also just when it gets down to just rank and file football talk.
Well, yes, and I mean, and right, Arkansas State has really elevated themselves. You know, from having Gus Malzahn and Hugh Freeze, and you're right. But Blake has built, they've made a major dollar contribution to improve their facility. And I haven't been over there recently, but everything I hear is they're fantastic.
And I guarantee you, from the last time you went, you won't recognize it. When you go over to Arkansas State now, I'm going to they play Texas State on the weekend that Ole Miss has an open date, the last weekend in October, and I'm gonna try to go up that day. Maybe the Cardinals are in the World Series, and I might miss that day. But if the Cardinals aren't in the World Series, I'm gonna be at ASU that day. Again, on Monday night at the Butcher Shop. Tell our listeners again how they can be a part of the fun on Monday night, John.
I'm gonna give you the prep player here in a second, but it's okay. TDC Memphis Touchdown Club with just 2 initials, TDCMemphis.com, and everything's on the website. We got a really good player. His name is Corbett Mims. He's from Kirby High School, coached by Chester Flowers, who's done a fantastic job of turning around that Kirby program and had them undefeated until a few weeks ago. Corbett is an outstanding player. He's 6'4", 230. He's a big, strong-sided defensive end, 17th in the state. And what I'm hearing from other coaches is there's going to be a lot of people coming after Corbett. He's committed to Arkansas State, but he is climbing the rankings.
Yeah, Arkansas State in on him early, and he just keeps growing and growing and growing and getting known and known and known. It's going to be fun Monday night honoring Corbett Mims and listening to the story of Blake Anderson, both in his personal life and in his professional life. John David, have a great weekend, and we'll visit again next Friday. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
You got John David Bedour with the Memphis Touchdown Club again Monday night at the Butcher Shop, and you will hear a really inspirational story of the love affair and the sad goodbye that Blake Anderson had to have for his beloved Wendy, but he has done a good job on the field. They face Georgia State tomorrow. Drew, everybody plays Georgia State. You know what they compare their score to? What Tennessee did against them.
Yeah, Tennessee. Sorry, I couldn't get my mic turned on there.
That's okay. That's okay, but everybody, the rest of the forever, when they play Georgia State, that's what they're going to be thinking of and the pounding that Georgia State really administered on the Vols on opening day that really has kind of led to all this. Hour 1 in the books. When we come back, we start hour 2 talking the Grizzlies. They play on Sunday afternoon at FedEx Forum. We'll visit with Peter Edmonston from The Experience with C.J. Hurt that you hear every morning from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on this radio station. That's next. Hour 1 over. Hour 2 begins next on Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7, and 96.1.
If you're the owner of a company and you're tired of a dirty office building, or maybe you're tired of dirty restrooms, or floors and carpets that are filthy, or windows that you can't even see through, I've got a solution. Let Trinity be your cleaning solution. Trinity Professional Services. They're putting professionalism back in cleaning. They specialize in stripping and waxing and buffing floors, in cleaning carpet. Just make it seem like it's spring outside. Window cleaning where you see through and everything shines. Commercial janitorial services specializing in final construction cleaning. Hey, the people that own this company, they are big construction people. They know what needs to be done. So if you would like it done the right way, call Todd Pope or Tommy Ferrari, the former Tiger quarterback, at 833-6773. 833-6773. It's Trinity. They're your cleaning solution.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with the new fall arrivals from Mizuno. Discover layers of feel with the new MP20 range. The MP20 is the ultimate muscle back. The MP20 MMC uses multi-material construction for legendary feel and performance. And the MP20 HMB is a playable set of hollow, tungsten-enhanced irons for many skill levels. Let us help you get custom fit for free today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day, 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Grizz Nation, be the first to guarantee your seats to see the next generation of Grizzlies in the biggest games, the best matchups, and the best giveaways of the season. As all single game tickets are on sale now, starting at just $10. For details, call 901-888-HOOP or shop Grizzlies.com.
Hey everybody, this is Coach Penny Hardaway. There's a comfort in being home, and to me, comfort food and family makes Memphis the place to be, along with having the best basketball fans in America. I like pulling into Corky's and getting one of their family party packs. How can you go wrong with pork, beans, slaw, sauce, and buns for only $5.99 a person? It is so easy. I can call ahead, order online, or just pop in. Tailgating can't get any easier. Tell them Penny sent you.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Your trusted source for pool supplies and end-of-season pool closings is Mario's Pool Supplies in Germantown, Tennessee. As the pool season crawls to an end, let Mario close your pool for the winter and secure it with a new safety cover to protect your children and pets over the winter. The 2019 People's Choice Award winner for pool supplies and service, Mario's Pool Supplies, 1986 Exeter Road in Germantown, Tennessee, is your one-stop shop for everything pools. Call 901-552-3399 or stop in and talk to Mario today.
If you're an outdoorsman and love all things hunting and fishing, be sure to listen to Sports 56 Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. for Outdoors Today. Brought to you by The Gun Store, 6920 Winchester in Memphis. Outdoors Today is a one-hour show hosted by veteran Mark Tobin and a group of respected outdoor-loving guests. Outdoors Today is dedicated to bringing outdoorsmen tips and techniques and tactics to help with your hunting and fishing in all seasons. Saturday mornings at 6 on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1 FM.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Dave will join us about 5:15 in about an hour and 15 minutes when he arrives safely with the Tigers travel party. Getting set for the game tomorrow afternoon at 2:45 against Louisiana Monroe. Possibly the best offense the Tigers have faced all year when they face the Warhawks tomorrow. And Lou Monroe from the Sun Belt, and the Tigers trying to protect that undefeated season and keep it going and keep building, as we always seem like we're trying to do in sports. The Grizzlies with the rebuild starting over, and they start Sunday afternoon an exhibition game at FedEx Forum to talk Grizzlies with us, as he does each and every Friday at this time. Peter Edmiston from The Experience on this radio station, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. every morning with C.J. Hurt, and also at The Athletic. Good afternoon, Peter Edmiston. Are you ready to be at FedEx Forum Sunday afternoon?
I am. I'm excited for the first time in a while. This preseason is actually somewhat intriguing and interesting. First time you'll see, John Morant and Brandon Clark and a lot of the new Grizzlies out there, and Taylor Jenkins and the whole thing. So yeah, it's most times preseason's been pretty perfunctory around here, but this is a little bit different.
You're so right. There's so much new, and it is very exciting, and a total restart, rebranding. From uniforms to head coach to everything, and it's no more kind of a little bit rebuilding and a little bit going for it. It's completely rebuilding, and the combinations could be different on Sunday afternoon. You tweeted earlier in the week that 3 starters have already been named for the Grizzlies. Tell our listeners who those 3 starters will be and the battle for those 2 wing positions.
Yeah, I don't think it will come as too much of a surprise that John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Jonas Valanciunas, 3 J's, will get that starting spot. There's probably another one in Jay Crowder that will probably end up getting the start at the 3. If it would appear Dylan Brooks probably at the 2. I think that's what you'll see tomorrow, if I had to guess, as the initial starting lineup. And then kind of tweaks will come from there based on reactions of what happens on the court and all that sort of thing that we see at FedEx Forum. But I do think, those 3, the main 3, and really the main 2, and Ja and Jaren, are going to get all they can eat this year in their development, playing together, developing that chemistry. They are the foundational pieces. Unless it's something just goes terribly wrong, those 2 are the guys that are going to be around for a while. And so it's sort of going to be moving around those 2 to see what works best. And I think, Jonas, because he came back and because he's so solid, he gives you some size, certainly improves your rebounding. You're going to see a lot of him too. But it's all about Ja and Jaren.
And one of the go-to plays, almost like USC in the heyday with all those great tailbacks with student body left and right, it's going to be the pick and roll between Jonas and Ja Morant.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I talked to Jonas extensively this week about why he came back and what he was thinking, and it was interesting because when he left, he had kind of said, "Well, I need a good point guard to play with," and I kind of took that to mean, well, if Mike Conley leaves, then he may not necessarily want to come back. But he said once he started to watch Ja Morant on tape, and once he got some videos, and once he saw it, he was over in Lithuania, and then he was fishing in Norway, and he's all over the place. This summer he was in China for the World Cup. But so once he started kind of getting a feel for Ja, he really liked what he saw, and he finalized the extension, or the return rather, when he was in Norway. Then he went over to Vegas and kind of hung out with the Summer League guys a little bit before the end of the year with John and Jaren, all of them off the court, and then watching the new guys on the court, and said he just really likes the way that Ja approaches the game and the way he plays with a big man. And I think you're right about the pick and roll. We're going to see an awful lot of that with Ja and Jonas, Jaren, but the way this offense comes together, I don't know how much of it you're going to see on Sunday because it's still in its fledgling stages. And I would say most of the stuff that's been worked on this week in training camp has been more defensive oriented. Typically, that's how camps work. You come in and you really work hard on defensive principles, because offense, most guys have a little better grasp. It comes a little easier to them offensively. So that's what we've seen this week. I don't know how good that offense is going to look on Sunday, how crisp it'll be, but I do know you'll see a lot of pick and rolls, no doubt.
Peter, why do we, or is it me, collectively kind of forget about Kyle Anderson?
Well, there's a lot of reasons. I don't think you're the only one. First of all, he was injured for a big stretch last year. He's still injured. And then, when he plays, I kind of had this conversation with some folks covering the team, and even with some, Grizzlies folks too. Like, where do you play Kyle Anderson?
Mm-hmm.
He's probably at his best on the ball, but on the ball is not going to be a problem. Grizzlies got plenty of guys on the ball, and one really important one who's going to get a lot of on the ball. So between Ja Morant and then obviously Tyus Jones, that you're going to catch a significant portion of ball handling right there. I don't know that you're going to see Kyle Anderson on the ball a lot. Well, if you don't have him on the ball, then he's not a standstill shooter in the way that Taylor Jenkins is going to be using his wings and bigs. You're going to see a lot of guys, spacing and spotting up. Well, he's not going to provide a lot of threat there. He's not certainly not a great shooter, and he's not healthy. Even though he's been participating in camp, I still don't know if he's, really exactly where he needs to be with that shoulder. I just think there's an awful lot of questions. I think it's fair to overlook him, and it's fair even when you think about him to kind of wonder, what his season is going to look like.
The image of Grayson Allen, is it fair? Is it enigmatic? Is it because he's that Duke guy that we kind of always seem to No, we don't, but the college basketball world, the basketball world finds one of those guys to basically be the pinata, to be the Duke guy that we really crawl into. Now, he didn't do it very innocently. He went out and attracted a lot of attention. Is it fair that he has that label?
Well, this is it's interesting because I wrote about him for the Athletic yesterday. It's a piece I would encourage everyone to check out because I think he was very open and honest about some of the struggles he's had mentally with. You could call it anxiety. I don't know exactly what you want to call it, but he certainly struggled with controlling his ability to focus, with his ability to kind of keep himself locked in on the game. He's been, as he put it, distracted by individual battles and pushed his temper over the top. He's been working extensively with meditation, mindfulness techniques, a lot of ways to keep his mind where it needs to be. And, we'll see how that goes. He obviously didn't do himself any favors at all with the situation with Grant Williams in Summer League, getting kicked out, 2 flagrant fouls, and really just the old Grayson coming back out. I think he's absolutely earned his reputation. No question about it. There's enough incidents that are either outright just dirty plays, no doubt about it, or borderline dirty plays. So there's enough of those that reputation is warranted. But when you talk to the guy, the personality and the willingness to kind of open up about it and be very self-aware is a little unusual. A lot of guys that are in that situation don't necessarily, they're not as honest, forthright about what it is that's going on and what happens. So, if you talk and you ask around about Grayson Allen with teammates and former teammates and folks that have known him, he's very well regarded by the people that have played with him and dealt with him. So, it is the case of a guy that gets on the court and in this competitive environment and just has a real problem compartmentalizing things and keeping a lid on his temper. Whether he can control that, get that to a situation that feels good to him, that's going to probably determine whether or not he's going to have an NBA career.
If he ever played Little League Baseball, if he struck out in a key situation, he had to be the kid that would throw the bat.
Oh, I mean, he tells lots of stories about that kind of stuff, and he would make faces at people that were heckling him as a kid. He would, constantly. He got to the point where it was consuming him, and Coach K actually put him on a sabbatical after his junior year, and 3 months of not even touching a basketball. And not even so much as no practice, no gym, no hanging out, nothing. He did an internship in Chicago. He was away from basketball completely. And he says that really refreshed him. And, in the intervening time, it has gotten better. The stuff that Summer League, that's a little bit of a regression. Although I think it's worth pointing out that in talking to the Grizzlies about it, even the front office guys, nobody was particularly concerned about that. So that's a good sign for him. He's certainly a talented guy, but he's not so talented that he's going to get away with it. So he's got to actually do something on the court. He didn't shoot the ball very well, to say the least, in Summer League. He had a nice spurt at the end of the season last year with Utah, but last year was a real tumultuous one where he got sent to the G League for a while early on. He never really cracked the rotation with Utah. So a lot of story left to be written for Grayson Allen. There's going to be minutes for him to have, but unless he gets his mind under control, he's probably not going to take full advantage of it.
Peter, that's very interesting insight about Mike Krzyzewski, basically giving him clean, dry, and sober, get away from basketball for 3 months.
Yep. And he said he complained to John Shire, who's the assistant coach, still is, and was then. And Shire said, Grayson said he told Shire, well, come on. This is like 3 or 4 weeks into the cold turkey. He said, you tell me I can't, I can't go to the gym, I can't do anything. You think he meant everything? And Shire said, what he's doing, what he wanted to happen is happening right now. Grayson said he got burned out. He didn't have the desire to go to the gym and get better. Just was kind of depressed. And he knew he'd brought a lot of that on himself. I don't think he's trying to make himself into a victim or anything like that. But it is just the fact is that if you're a 21-year-old or 20-year-old and you like to be on social media, and every time you go on social media, you get a bunch of messages about how you're a punk and you suck and blah 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 and all this, like just constantly. That's going to take it out of you. Even if you were kind of a punk. He knows he's got to get himself under control. This helped him. He had a much better senior season. He was much more effective. The team was better. That junior year, his Duke team got eliminated in the second round by South Carolina. They got to the Elite Eight, and that final year had a really close matchup with Kansas. So it was a much better performance. And he'll say that too. And he said he was much more focused. And so I think it's all mental with him. But he had an interesting quote that I ran with. It kind of was the end of the piece. I ended the piece with it because I thought it was interesting. He said, I hear all these athletes talking about how the game is 90% mental. He said, okay, well, if that's true, then if it's 90% mental, why do we spend 90% of our time on physical stuff? And I'm working on the mental side. So we'll see if it actually comes to fruition.
Peter, it was outstanding work at The Athletic. That's where you can read all of Peter's work for The Athletic, and it was really good. And it tees up my favorite Yogi Berra quote ever: "The game's 90% mental, and the other half's physical." And that year for the Dukies, they got a little bit of taste of their own seeding medicine when they had to play Kansas at that ever so tough NCAA tournament site for Kansas in Wichita.
Yeah. Oh, it was, they've had many a Greensboro night in the tournament. So I think what goes around comes around. But it was, it was just a better seed. He's just a really, full disclosure. I went into this thing, thinking the same thing about Grace Allen that a lot of, I'm sure our listeners think, this guy's a punk. He's a Duke kid. He's, a petulant, little spoiled brat and all that. And I got to tell you, talking to the guy, you just don't get that impression. Not to exonerate him for misdeeds, and I think, he understands what he's done, and he knows mistakes. I mean, in the NBA, it's grown men, so if you can't hack it, you're not going to be on a roster. So he knows he's got work to do.
Well, Peter, we learn every day. We may not know these people like we think we do until we get a little better information and relationship with them. And also one of the oldest, most trite cliches ever: don't judge a book by its cover. Now, for Grayson Allen, though, until he banks a whole bunch of capital either with the Memphis Grizzlies or somebody in the NBA, it feels like he's got one more incident in him, and then he's going to be cut loose from everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think again, I was a little surprised the Grizzlies weren't more concerned about what happened in Vegas, but I think they see what I wrote about, and he's really genuinely working extremely hard on the personal side to get this stuff squared away. So you got to give him that, and he's under contract, so there's no need to just do anything crazy. There's other cuts that they'll be making, I would think. I mean, I guess not out of the realm of possibility that he could be a cut, but I would be surprised. So we'll see. But it's a story that is worth watching. And he's a little. He could be one of those guys in Memphis. Memphis has been known to take a misfit or a perceived misfit and make him into a cult hero. So maybe this is another example of that. We'll see.
One last thing for Peter Edmondson from the Experience on Sports 56 and from the Athletic. At the end of at trade deadline, Jay Crowder could be one of the players that could be primary in deadline deals, couldn't he?
Well, I got to tell you, another guy that I really have enjoyed talking with in just a few, short sessions has been Jay Crowder. I mean, a guy who, I'm not as wrapped up in Andre Iguodala bashing as a lot of people are, and people upset about Iguodala not wanting to come here and all this. It is what it is. I'm not, that doesn't bother me, especially at his stage of his career. But for all the people that are bothered by that, what Jay Crowder said, and I asked him about it, he told me, very affirmatively, I want to be here. And I want to be part of this group because I believe in these young guys. He said, I could have gone somewhere else. I could have told my agent. I could have said, let's get me up out of here, same kind of stuff. And he said, I told the organization I want to be in. And he said, there's going to be a lot of playoff teams sniffing around me, but I told the organization I'm all in on developing this group. Now his contract expires. I don't know. That means, going to re-signing with the team or anything like that. But I was surprised at the depth of his desire, or his apparent desire, to be here and part of a rebuild, very much a rebuild. But he was very full-throated in putting that out there. And, he's not, anywhere up to the age of Iguodala. So Iguodala's a little bit of a different stage of his career, but McCrowder is certainly a veteran, especially compared to this group. So for him to say that and the way he's attacked training camp, by all accounts, it's a huge compliment to his professionalism, and it's a big feather in the cap for the Grizzlies organizationally, and for Taylor Jenkins to have that standard setter, veteran-type guy who's going to be a mentor. And Solomon Hill has been the same way, very similar. So two extremely high-character guys. I think they'll be, they probably will be traded, but right now the value that they provide is very real and tangible within the organization. So I don't know they're rushing to move either one of those guys anytime soon.
Peter, you be safe. I know you're en route to Henry County to do the Germantown-Henry County game tonight, late-night drive home for you tonight. Yeah. But you be safe and enjoy Sunday afternoon, and we'll visit next Friday afternoon talking all things Grizzlies. Thank you, Peter. Be safe.
Brett, real quick, my grandpa was the sheriff of Henry County for a long time.
Oh, yeah. You still got a badge?
We have a street. His name was Aldous Wall. There's a Wall Street, right in Henry County. It's not Wall Street like Manhattan. It's Wall Street like my grandpa. My grandma was the sheriff. She was, of course, the wife of the sheriff, so she made all the food for the prisoners that were in the jail. So I remember going up there, and she was.
What a story!
I got a lot of connections up in Henry County. It's nice to go back to the old stomping ground.
Well, let me suggest to you tonight, just blow through town going about 90 with the flashers on and see if that still has some currency.
I don't know if I maybe I might. I'm not going to try that. They do have the world's largest fish fry too. There's a giant catfish in Paris, Tennessee. In case you're curious about that, so
very
nice. Lots to do in Henry County. I can tell you that.
Very nice, boy. Everybody comes from somewhere, don't we?
Thank you, Brett.
Thank you, Peter. Peter Edmondson on the road to Henry County tonight. Back home, kind of full circle for him, heading back home tonight. I've been shaving all this year with Harry's, and I suggest you do the same. Look, we've tried everything through the years with shaving. For over 5,000 years, we've tried it about all. Look, the ancient Greeks, they didn't need flex balls or heated handles, and neither do you. That's why Harry's doesn't add gimmicky features to their razors. They focus on the qualities that actually matter for a close, comfortable shave, and they never upcharge you. You get a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just use code STATS at harrys.com. I've loved the close shave, the easy glide, and I've loved the affordability, the low price that you get from Harry's. Harry's is a return to the essential quality, durable blades at a fair price. Just $2 per blade. To keep prices low, they cut out the middleman. Harry's owns a world-class blade factory in Germany that's been making some of the best razor blades in the world for almost 100 years. And Harry's is a brand you can be really proud of. 1% of sales are donated to organizations that provide access to mental health care for men, and there's no risk to you for trying them out. If you don't love your shave, just let them know. Harry's will give you a full refund. Harry's has an amazing offer for listeners of this show. New customers get $5 off a trial set from Harry's with code STATS at harrys.com. That means you get a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping when you use code STATS at harrys.com. Go to harrys.com today. Use code STATS at checkout to claim your offer. When I shave, and I shave comfortably with Harry's. Grayson Allen could be one of those reclamation projects in Memphis. That was fantastic stuff from Peter and from the reporting he did for The Athletic about Mike Krzyzewski basically exiling him from any basketball-related things while he was at Duke to get his mind clear and to start over. Drew, do you think on opening night we will see Grayson Allen introduced in front of it'll be the crowd on the road, but when he comes home for the home festivities, introduced in front of FedEx Forum as a member of the Grizzlies? Will he make the team?
I don't know. I think he's probably going to end up starting down in the G League and having to work his way up. While he had a decent summer league, it just was full of problems to where the story wasn't about his on-court performance. It was about, well, technically what he did on the court, but it wasn't, anything you can list in a box score.
He can't have much more, can he?
No. He's got to be down to his last match. No more screw-ups possible. Yeah. And I think if I'm the Grizzlies, I'm personally would want him down in the G League. Get your head right. Kind of send him somewhat of a message like, hey, you cannot ruin anything for this team, and we're not going to have you on this team until you're mentally right and you're stable enough to play in the NBA. So start him out in the G League, see how he does, see how mentally he is, how much he's able to keep his temper, and how well he is able to stay calm down there. And if he passes all the tests, bring him up, see what he can do.
I'm rooting for him more than anything else. I want it for the Memphis Grizzlies, but I'm not rooting against him. Look, I know why that guy, and there's one per year, and I wonder who the first big bullseye that it was at Duke that they may have asked for it a little bit, maybe asked for it a lot, but they get it, that they go into the opposing gyms and opposing arenas and just really the national image of them. J.J. Redick had it when he was there, and he sure has played way above that and sure financially played way above that, one of the great three-point shooters in the NBA, and I think Philadelphia will really miss him this year. But I wonder who the first guy and when it started. Was it late 80s? Was it early 90s? Or did it start with Christian Laettner stomping on Aminu Timberlake in that NCAA tournament game against Kentucky that he later hit one of the biggest shots in the history of the tournament in?
I think a lot of people would probably have to point back at Christian Laettner. I know I personally would, not being that old, not knowing really that much about Duke basketball up until Coach K got there. But I think I'm glad that you mentioned J.J. Redick. I think if you're Grayson Allen, having that target on your back like J.J. did, I think you kind of want your career to image JJ's.
In a lot of ways.
Yes, obviously, a lot of money, longevity, but going from a hated Duke player to, I think, a very respected and well-liked player in the NBA.
He shook that image off.
He did. He graduated a new one.
And I've told the story. I think he was a rookie with the Magic one night at FedEx Forum. And, Drew, you remember where we used to sit in that semicircle at the other end of the arena on the Loge level. And I'm sitting there, and it was, both teams were bad, and it wasn't many people in the arena. And J.J. Redick was announced by the public address announcer and came in the game. And some guy in those club seats behind me, went bananas. It was worse than waving the red cape at Toro. Just went crazy on J.J. Redick. I thought, really, he gets that kind of treatment, that kind of derision from, one guy in Memphis? But, yeah, they did. But I think, as you stated it well, I think J.J. Redick graduated from that, and if Grayson Allen can ever even get close to that, he will have accomplished a lot. When we come back, we visit with Glenn Rogers to talk high school football. We do that every Friday at this time. Dave will join us about 5:15 from Monroe. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats and Drew Barrett back in our Family Leisure studios on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy get you through the midday with Sports 56 Middays. Delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 till 1 on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Did you pay a big repair bill on your existing heating and air conditioning system this year? Is your energy-guzzling heating and air conditioning system on its last leg and you think it's worth nothing? Good news, it's buyback days at Conway Services. We'll buy back your repair bill this year up to $1,500 toward the purchase of select Carrier Infinity systems. That's right, we'll buy back your repair bill up to $1,500, even if we didn't do the repair. Just show us your repair receipt from any company and we'll buy your repair back. If you didn't have a repair bill this year, we'll give you up to $1,500 trade-in on that old energy-guzzling system toward the purchase of select Carrier Infinity systems. When air conditioners get old and inefficient, the cost of repairs and high utility costs could almost pay for a new system. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old heating and air conditioning system will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Starlight Lounge presents an evening with the Progressive Box.
I wrote this next song for a gal from Cheyenne. Should never have told her how Progressive's collision insurance covers injured dogs and cats. She said if they could love her pooch as much as she did, so could I. Well, I couldn't. This next song's called Cat Person. It was a rough, rough night in Wyoming. The cat was out of the bag.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Pet coverage not available in New Hampshire and North Carolina.
It's back. The Carhartt Crazy Sale at Frontier Western Store in Olive Branch. Visit Frontier this month for huge markdowns on clearance Carhartt items. The latest fall line just launched also, and Frontier is fully stocked. We've got jeans, shirts, bib, overalls, jackets, coats, gloves, belts, boots, and more. And to make room for all the new items, we've discounted a number of short-sleeve plaids and T-shirts. Save up to 50%. All Carhartt jeans are now $5 off. This is the last jean sale of the year, so stock up now for yourself or for someone else for the upcoming holidays. Christmas will be here before you know it, so you might as well save some cash now on what you know you'll need. Also this month, we are including a buy one, get one half-price sale on all novelty T-shirts by Simply Southern, Girly Girl, Live Oak, and more. It's the Carhartt Crazy Sale and more at Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Family owned and operated since 1967.
Hi, folks. Good news for bargain hunters and bandits from the Chevy Sheriff in Collierville. Sunrise Chevy has over 500 Chevys and used cars in stock just in time for the Sunrise Low Price Rodeo. Factory rebates up to $5,000, Sunrise discounts high as $8,000, and don't forget, Sunrise specializes in secondary financing. Need a good body shop? Bring it to Sunrise. We work on all makes and models. Remember, you can bring your Chevy to Sunrise for service no matter where you bought. Buy American and buy from Sunrise. There's always a sale at the Sunrise Chevy Ranch. Find new roads to 385 in Houston, Levy, and Collierville. Chevys cost less at Sunrise, partner.
Do you want to learn to speak a new language but don't have enough time? Then you need to try Babbel, the language learning app that you can try for free right now at Babbel.com. Babbel's lessons are just 15 minutes or less, and you can go at your own pace. You'll be amazed at how easy Babbel makes it. Start your first lesson in the language of your choice for free. Just download the Babbel app or go to Babbel.com now. That's Babbel.com.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
We talk high school football every Friday during high school football season. We have, since it got started in August, we do it on Fridays with Glenn Rogers Jr., proud Memphis Tiger, part of Coach Bobby Austin's proud staff for the MUS Owls. And tonight, y'all have St. Benedict tonight, right?
Absolutely, Stats, and good afternoon, all our listeners. And it's a beautiful day for football and high school football.
Boy, it has been a steam box so far, hasn't it? Tonight's going to be a little bit better, isn't it?
It should be a lot cooler, and big game for us, league game, just looking forward to going out there and playing a exciting ball game, and been really focused hard on our kids all week, and just staying focused to the task at hand and going and taking care of business.
I know you can't let your players see this, Coach, and I know you don't want to belabor it too much, but, boy, would you like to replay some of that Montgomery Bell game over again?
Absolutely. I was just thinking about that on the way over.
I know. We always do.
Exactly.
Man, we can't ever enjoy anything in sports for thinking about the losses. We never can enjoy the wins. That's crazy, isn't it? We're nuts, aren't we?
We are. A good friend of mine's, Greg Moore, works at Akron. We were talking about that game because we really felt like as coaching staff, we let that one slip away because we didn't play well, but we had a chance at the end to win that ball game and let it slip away. So that game kind of sticks with you.
And the best coaches ever have always, when they lose, they just crush themselves. Never blame the youngsters. And when you win, you give the youngsters all the credit. You didn't have anything to do with it, did you?
Exactly. You give them all the credit because, the bottom line is, the players are the ones that's out there making it happen.
That's right. And you're asking a lot of somebody 15, 16, and 17, aren't you?
Yeah. And I tell you what, kind of off subject, hats off to Memphis and midnight and the Memphis Madness last night. The Penny and Tony Matlock and Dwight Boyd and the whole staff. I tell you what, stats. I haven't been to a lot of those because usually, I'm doing something with football, whether I was playing as a young man or coaching. But I tell you that thing last night was electrifying. I really enjoyed the crowd, and it just was a beautiful night.
It was a fun night, and to make a night that's hard to make appealing, they have made appealing. So tonight for MUS, y'all feel pretty good going against St. Benedict. But you mentioned a league game. What they've lost one time, St. Benedict?
No, they got I think three losses.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
They got 3 losses.
You've lost one time.
Yeah, we've lost
NBA.
one time. Yeah, we lost one time. Briarcrest has beat St. Benedict, and I think 2 other teams have been. One team out of Mississippi has beaten them. So they got 3 losses. So we need to go in there and just stay the course, take care of our business, don't turn the football over, and hopefully come out there with a win tonight.
You mentioned some legendary Tigers having a lot to do with last night's success. Glenn, I think of you as a legendary Memphis Tiger and your namesake and your dad as well. But also last night, how about in his election remarks, Mayor Strickland giving the shout out to Ken Moody? How about that? Wasn't that nice?
Absolutely. Ken Moody's a part of the fabric of this city and the Tigers. And, Elliot Perry was there last night, good friend of mine, and Andre Turner. I grew up watching guys like Andre Turner and Dwight Boyd, and, because I was being recruited then. And then, to see guys like Penny and Tony Matlock, who, when I was a Tiger, I was going to watch those guys play high school basketball because they were being recruited. And so to see all this stuff come full circle with these guys, being a part of the Memphis program, Penny leading the way, and, Tony Matlock is one of his top assistants. It was a proud moment for me because I know these guys personally.
And Ken last night is part of Mayor Strickland's staff really,
exactly.
Really working hard for him. And I'm sure you grew up. Who was your all-time favorite Tiger basketball player growing up, Glenn?
To be honest, stats, Keith Lee. Because I was
that's a good one.
I was in high school right when that era was starting. Because I saw a lot of games, and Keith Lee was my favorite, man. I tried to emulate him when I was playing Little League basketball, and he's probably my all-time favorite. And I've seen a bunch of Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the one that sticks in my mind because I grew up with him.
Now, my all-time favorite will always be Larry Finch because that's who I was in the backyard. That's who I wanted to be.
Yeah.
But when people ask me who the best Tiger ever was, I always say it's really not even a fair question. I go to all-time leading rebounder, all-time leading scorer, and that's Keith Lee.
Yeah, Keith Lee. I'm telling you, I'm like you, Stats. I was in the backyard emulating Keith. I wanted to be Keith Lee, even though I was a little bitty guy playing football. But, just going to those games as a young man. And
try me being Larry Finch if you think it was tough for you to be Keith Lee.
I'm telling you. But, Stats, we grew up with those guys, and so he's my all-time favorite. But, all these guys are, great players for Memphis.
Last week, the reports were that Jeremy Pruitt was in town watching those Whitehaven linebackers. One or a couple of committed to Arkansas. I think everybody will recruit them hard until the name's on a national letter of intent, won't it, Coach?
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's good that he's here looking at these guys. These guys are 3 bona fide, high-caliber, top-caliber players. Everybody in the country is asking about them. Mississippi State was at our place today. They were talking about them. And so these guys' names keep ringing up with every coach that comes into town. And, sad to see that moment on the TMZ thing with Coach Pruitt and Jeremy Banks. That just was a sad deal.
It was. It was one that might be unpardonable as well. And
I think Coach Pruitt did the right thing, dismissing him right now. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. You at times you just got to cut loose from it, but they may have to eventually cut loose from him. You mentioned Arkansas and Tennessee; they can sell, and maybe even Mississippi State a little. Ole Miss can. Those places can sell. Come play right now.
Absolutely.
Alabama can't really sell that. They sell. Come to our place, and we get you to the NFL eventually.
And get in line. Alabama tells you to get in line, but teams like Tennessee, Ole Miss, Arkansas, they're when you watch, I watch a lot of football on Saturdays. They're hurting at the linebacker position.
Oh yeah.
And to be successful on defense, you got to have some linebackers. You got to be able, especially in the SEC, you got to be able to stop the run. And so when you don't have those caliber guys, you better go get them. And these are 3 young men that's worthy of playing high, at a high level in the SEC or anywhere in the country.
In the wave of people going to the 3-4, it's just simple math. In the 4-3, you just need 3. In the 3-4, you need 4.
Exactly.
I mean, you got to get a bunch of guys that can get people on the ground.
On the ground,
tonight.
exactly.
I think a really fun game tonight will be Briarcrest at CBHS.
Man.
Briarcrest dream season. You said early in the year, and Glenn, I didn't disagree with you, but you said very early you thought this was the best Briarcrest team ever, including some of Coach Freeze's great teams. They're 6-0. They got a dream season in front of them, and tonight is really for control for that region title.
No, absolutely. We played Christian Brothers. I've seen Briarcrest on tape a lot, and the reason, and I say that, Michael Lohr and Greg Hardy were 2 really good players, but this Briarcrest team has a lot of talent just stretched out across the board, and it starts with their quarterback. He's a dual threat guy. He's a junior. He hadn't made, the kid's name is, I think it's Michael Dallas. He hadn't made a lot of mistakes. He's been smart with the football, and then he's handing the ball off to Jabari Smalls, Ole Miss commitment, and then he's got 2 big guys out in front with Rodney Newsom Jr. and Omari Thomas paving the way. And then outside they got, the kid that's playing wide out who's been recruited by everybody. So they got speed on the outside. Their defense has been formidable. If we weren't playing tonight, this would be a game I really, really want to go take a look at. I think it's going to be a fun game over there on Walnut Grove tonight.
It will be. It will be a big crowd for Briarcrest.
Absolutely.
And Christian Brothers tonight. Another good game. Wooddale at Melrose. Winner takes control of 8-3A.
Yeah, and, Wooddale, big win, coming back and beating Lausanne. Wow, that was a huge win for them. And, Cedric Wilson, we played Melrose a couple of weeks ago. A lot of speed. They got one of their best players who is out now with the injury. So I'm thinking Wooddale will get the nod with me because I watched a little of that Lausanne-Wooddale game, and Wooddale was surprising. They were very good, in doing so, moving the ball down the field and scoring when they needed to on Lausanne to win that game.
I think Lausanne at 2-3, everybody kind of expected a little bit of a dip the year after Eric Gray and all that success, but a good, solid program.
Absolutely. Kevin LeCastro does an amazing job. A lot of talent. They got some young guys banged up. His running back is all-purpose guy. Another guy's a lot like Eric Gray, Craig Cunningham. He's a guy that's a lot like Eric, small, quick, very elusive. And so, but they got some other guys banged up, especially up front.
And Central at White Station tonight. Central played Christian Brothers really tough last week. They're 2-4, I think.
And what about the win for White Station at Bartlett, man?
Big win. Bartlett's got a big one tonight at Houston. Talk about Bartlett at Houston and Central at White Station tonight.
The Central White Station game will be big, and what a win for White Station last week at Bartlett, getting that victory. And, the Houston game, another game that's, 2 formidable teams going at it. Houston's undefeated, and, that running back at Houston, he makes, anytime you can just turn around and hand that ball off to a good tailback that's with a good big offensive line in front of him, that makes a coach's job a whole lot easier to call plays.
It sure does. We've talked about the Ohio State offensive line. That's kind of what they're doing at the college level. I know everybody wants to throw it around. It's more fun. You can get a lot more people involved, but if you've got a good offensive line and you can just run the ball, as Darryl Royal said, why try something that a lot more can go wrong than it can go well when you throw it?
Exactly. You look at the teams that's been in the playoff games, the Clemsons, the Bamas, even OU, Ohio States. These teams turn around and hand the football off. That's their first priority. Now they're adapting more to the passing game. My cousin T. Higgins plays for Clemson. And so, Clemson can throw the ball, but their bread and butter of most of these teams is turn around with their quarterback and handing that ball off, and then play action after that.
How many big-time Division I running backs do you think are in town in Shelby County this year?
I think, big time, I don't think it's a lot of big-time running backs. The kid from Houston, he's a small guy. He's, 5'9". He's not a big-time tailback. Al Wooten, he's a big big, bulky kid, but I don't know if Al has the speed to be a big-time, a tailback that can break it and go to the house. He's more of a bruiser. So it ain't a lot of real big-time. Jalen Greenwood, to me, the kid at ECS, sticks out probably more as an all-around guy. He's a home run hitter. He can catch it and go to the house. Once he breaks a tackle, he can take it to the distance. He's the one kid in my mind that sticks out that's a big-time home run hitter. Jalen Greenwood at ECS.
And a lot of good games in the area tonight. We mentioned a couple of them. Bartlett, Houston. Bartlett with a good season. You mentioned them. Yeah. Bartlett with a good season rolling. I think
just
Houston, one loss.
Yeah, I think Houston will win that game tonight. Bartlett. It's a real surprise season. They got a new coach out of Alabama, and he's doing an amazing job. And last week they took a hit with White Station. I think they'll take another hit this week because I think Houston is primed to make a good deep run in the playoffs this year.
Coaching matters. I believe that.
Absolutely.
I see it at every level, whether it's at 10 years old or at 15 or 17 or in the NFL. Coaching matters, doesn't it?
Yeah, and, kids and guys in general, they want to learn. They want to get better. I heard Coach Saban say this. The great ones want to be taught. They want to know why they messed up, how they messed up. They want you to critique them so they can get better. It's the ones that's mediocre that always questions, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. But the great ones want to be questioned.
Oh, and the great ones go to it and beg for it.
Exactly.
Coach me. Make me better.
Make me better.
And I think if I was at Alabama, I'd listen to that guy. He's won a lot of ball games.
Absolutely.
And I would love. I know somebody's had to do it. I know it would probably be. I don't know if it would be crass or not, but I would love to see just in his Alabama career what the career earnings have been for his players. It could approach $1 billion.
Oh, absolutely. Alabama sent a lot of guys to the pros. I'm with you, Stats. It's probably close to $1 billion. He's
just Julio's deal.
Julio's deal alone has put some high in the running for it.
But get out and support high school football tonight. A
Absolutely.
lot of good games
a lot
in
of good
the area.
Games, fans, yeah.
And a great night for it. We finally got the blessing of a cooler night.
Finally getting a little weather break. And so I encourage all these parents and just high school fans alone and the students to get out and support your local teams.
Glenn, fun with you every Friday. Thank you for your time.
Thank
Good luck to y'all tonight.
Go Tigers, go, baby.
You got it. Glenn Rogers talking high school football with us. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 87.7, and 96.1.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
The folks at Homer Skelton Hyundai want to say thank you. Thank you, Memphis, for another spectacular year. They set records, but I can understand why. You think about the product. Where else do you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty? That's what you get on every new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Oh, and thank you again for the 11th straight year, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of Memphis. It starts with that product, but then it goes to the shopper assurance. Where else do you go where you get transparent pricing, flexible test drive, take the car for a couple of days if you want, streamlined buying process? You're not going to be there all day, in and out. And then, and I have not seen this anywhere else, the 3-day worry-free exchange. You buy a new car, if you've got any buyer's remorse, you've got 3 days to change your mind. Just get on Lamar, take it into Mississippi, the first exit's Craft Road, turn left, and go see Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Family Leisure has the world's biggest spa sale going on now. Over 50 spas in stock and ready to sell. $8,000 spas now just $44.99. 4-person spas starting at $24.99. Swim spas from $89.99. Huge discounts on all spas. Get the lowest prices of the year with special financing available. It's the world's biggest spa sale happening now at Family Leisure. Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I buy houses.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. It is that time of year where the weather is unpredictable, and given the recent storms, it's a good time to discuss insurance claims. So here's a few things you should know. Always hire a local contractor, because if you have a problem with your roof down the road, you want to be able to find him. Never allow anyone to pressure you into signing a contingency contract. They're used as sales tools, making you feel committed, and the truth is, those contracts are not worth the paper they're written on. Be careful of door-knocking salesmen. Some are reputable, but many are not. They canvass the neighborhood and tell everyone to file a claim, working their percentages and not caring if you file a claim even when they know the likelihood of it being approved is low. Some will even damage your roof, hoping to convince the adjuster it's storm damage. That's fraud, and contractors have gone to jail for that. So do your research and know who you're hiring. Five-Ash Roofing, the official roof of the University of Memphis Athletic Department. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
One thing I really admire about Central Barbecue is their commitment to quality.
Then why do they let you do their commercials?
I'm talking about their food. Everything is prepared with devotion to taking the time and effort to create perfect barbecue.
Oh, I know. That's exactly why I was wondering why.
They're not kidding with that slow-smoked Memphis-style slogan. They smoke their pork for 14 hours. Do they have to? They do if they want to be the best barbecue in Memphis, and they are.
And yet they let you just throw together.
There's nothing better than Central Barbecue because they care.
Except apparently about their radio ads.
Hi, folks. Rob Walker, Infinity of Memphis, and we've got a new Infinity crossover vehicle that has raised the standard of comparison to a new level. Imagine having both sports car performance and eco-friendly efficiency on demand, working together to empower every driving experience. The result of 20 years of engineering, QX50's award-winning variable compression turbo engine is the world's only engine of its kind. Like two engines in one, it delivers a combination of power and efficiency that is truly in a category all its own, and only Infinity has it. You'll never sacrifice performance for the sake of efficiency again. And the new QX50 offers more horsepower than its Audi, Lexus, and Mercedes competitors. Add to that QX50's award-winning sumptuous interior, and you have the best combination of performance and comfort in the mid-size crossover segment.
Infinity of Memphis, and online at infinityofmemphis.com.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Ocean and Brad Norsworthy.
Well, the Astros have taken care of business pretty quickly, dispatched in short order with the Rays 6-2. Astros win. We all could just be playing for funsies with Houston and the Dodgers on a collision course to rematch from 2 years ago's World Series in baseball. The Braves posted a run in the bottom of the first off Jack Flaherty, trying to make it stand up, the only run scored so far. It's the Braves leading the Cardinals, bottom of the fourth, runners on first and third for the Braves the last time I checked in on that game. So the Braves trying to even it 1-1. A good way to send a message is after that heartbreaking cuff luck loss last night, come back and beat the Cardinals ace, and you rekilter the series when you head to St. Louis on Sunday afternoon for Cardinals and Braves in the National League. 4 games today, 1 already in the books, 1 ongoing, 2 tonight, both on New York, and the Yankees hosting the Twins, and the Dodgers on the West Coast hosting Washington late tonight. But a good college football game tonight with Central Florida and Cincinnati. Williams Equipment Supply, they're your homegrown, locally owned, #1 in compact construction equipment company. They've represented the Bobcat Company for 50 years. Bobcat, they're the industry leader in compact loaders and excavators, and they support American manufacturing. You can support American manufacturing by buy or lease or rent with the Bobcat equipment. Williams Equipment Supply, the largest equipment dealer in the Mid-South, with 9 great locations. They have the largest inventory of equipment, attachments, and parts, the largest compact rental fleet, the best technicians, and the most locations. Whether you do plumbing, utilities, swimming pools, concrete breaking, or foundations, let Williams Equipment supply you with the right Bobcat excavator just for you. Whether you buy, lease, or rent, Williams Equipment Supply is what you need at a price you can afford. For a demonstration or more details in the Memphis area, call Sam Watson, your Memphis area Bobcat specialist, at 901-326-6429. And in North Mississippi, the Bobcat specialist is Cody Bumpus. Cody's cell is 901-508-8739. Williams Equipment Supply, the largest compact equipment dealer in the Mid-South with 9 great locations. Tonight, the baseball. Tomorrow, all the college football. Sunday, back to NFL. Last night, one of the last things we talked about signing off last night, Drew, was DK Metcalf. And if he could get going, he got going early last night for Seattle.
Yeah, he did. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. Last night, I feel like yesterday before you signed off, you were real worried about DK Metcalf. Saying maybe he's just a locker room, maybe he's just a weight room guy. But, I mean, when you go for 44 yards and did have a touchdown early in that game, I think we can see that it's not just locker room.
He's just
a rookie. You know, it happens. I mean, there's reasons why you say he's just a rookie because rookie guys
you know what I'm scared
are
of?
iffy.
I don't want AJ and DK to frankly become and be labeled and have the career not work out like they expect, like it happened to Laquan. That's what I'm scared of.
Yeah, I can certainly understand that just because of how much hype all three of those guys have had. But, you know, give it some time. It's going to take some time. I mean, just on the other side, you look at Memphis's star running back from last year for the Rams only having 1 carry this year, and I thought last night would have been a good opportunity to try to use them just to kind of
run the ball,
mix it up. I mean, because they only ran the ball 18 times last night, and 49 passes from Jared Goff. I mean,
too many.
It's way too many. I think it's way too many for anybody. I mean, we saw Seattle with Russell Wilson throw for like 53 attempts last week. It's way too much. You don't need your quarterback throwing the ball that many times. Just run the ball. See if you can create some gaps and get the horses running.
Super Bowl champion. He is amassing the career numbers. He's a leader. He's very likable. Is it the West Coast thing? Is it the Northwest? Is it Seattle? While maybe sometimes we forget about Russell Wilson and don't rattle him off in that Breeze, Brady, Rivers, when we start rolling through the names?
It's the West Coast thing. I think Russell Wilson is kind of – I'm not going to put him in the exact same boat. I don't think he's that high caliber of a player compared to the guy that I'm about to say. But he kind of gets put in a little bit of a Mike Trout boat. You know, one of the great players in the league in today's games, but they're just so far out there. You have to stay up so late or – try to with the NFL, you have to battle TV times, local spots. They're never on. I mean, it's just like me being here in Memphis trying to watch my Ravens. Unless it's a Sunday night game, Monday night, or Thursday night, we don't watch them. Or you get Sunday ticket, you don't see them. So when 95% of the country never sees you, you just kind of forget about them.
And he's a quiet guy. He's not an attention-grabbing guy. He's just a facts jack, the kind of guy you want at quarterback. But he's won a Super Bowl, and he really should have 2. He didn't make the play call on the goal line.
No, he didn't.
That was Darrell Bevell.
I'm sure he wanted to run the ball.
Oh, and it was right in front of me, and I'm just, what are you doing? What are you doing? How close are you ever going to get to winning another one in Seattle? Well, they hadn't been close since then, but we talked about it earlier. Pete Carroll, really solid coach, and they have the win last night. DK Metcalf got off to the hot start early in that game, and they had to hang on to the end until the Rams missed a potential game-winning field goal. I like Cooper Kupp a lot. I just don't think the Rams can throw it that much with him being the featured wide receiver. 2 hours in the books. Dave joins us in this hour. We think at some point, we know Rick Horrow will join us next and talk the business sport, and we'll have our First National Bank and Trust football forecast at 5:30 coming up. 1 hour still to go on 87.7 and 96.1.
Campbell Clinic now offers daytime walk-in care, and you don't need an appointment. If you've got any kind of urgent break, sprain, strain, you can walk into any of their 5 convenient locations Monday through Friday from 8 until 4. There's no long wait you have to put up with the ER, and those doctors are really good, but they're not orthopedists. They're not world-renowned orthopedists who have come up with different procedures and written the manuals for them that are used everywhere in the world, and I'm not kidding you. And you can now see those doctors who treat the Tigers, the Grizzlies, the Redbirds. You can see them today without an appointment. And I'm talking Collierville, Germantown, South Haven, downtown at the Med Center, or even the Campbell Clinic Spine Center in Cordova. Now, if you've got something pressing, you got to go to work and you can bear the pain until the evening, there's Campbell Clinic After Hours. That's Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8 in Germantown, South Haven, even Saturday morning in Germantown. If you're injured, don't wait. Visit Campbell Clinic Walk-In Care or Campbell Clinic After Hours.
If you've always thought, hey, I'd look pretty good in a Lexus, well, guess what? Lexus thinks so, too. Lexus is offering you the Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Great offers on all 2019 models and special lease options. Drive in luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2019 flagship LS500. Hey, you look pretty good there. Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event at Lexus of Memphis. Experience amazing. Your trusted source for pool supplies and end-of-season pool closings is Mario's Pool Supplies in Germantown, Tennessee. As the pool season crawls to an end, let Mario close your pool for the winter and secure it with a new safety cover to protect your children and pets over the winter. The 2019 People's Choice Award winner for pool supplies and service, Mario's Pool Supplies, 1986 Exeter Road in Germantown, Tennessee, is your one-stop shop for everything pools. Call 901-552-3399 or stop in and talk to Mario today.
Right now, the Home Depot makes replacing your old carpet easy with more styles and colors to choose from. There's no better time to buy with free installation on any carpet purchase of $499 or more, all by licensed local pros, backed for life. Today is the day for doing and saving with free carpet installation only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. For a limited time, $499 minimum purchase required. Typically $699. For license information, visit homedepot.com/license numbers. Valid through November 6, 2019.
Upgrade your commute at Acura of Memphis. Seize the thrill and test drive one of our award-winning models, each packed with cutting-edge technology, luxurious amenities, and a driving experience that's sure to awaken your inner self. Driving shouldn't be a chore, it should be an adventure. Advance your drive today. Shop our aggressive lease and finance options now. Luxury is waiting at Acura of Memphis, or shop online 24/7. Visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
Hey Tiger fans, this is John Stacy of the Blue and Gray Show. You can hear Drew Barrett and I talk Tigers with Tigers every Sunday at 5 right here on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Drew, who do we got in the studio with us this week?
This week, joining John and I in studio will be former Tiger offensive lineman and Sports 56's very own Gabe Kuhn, along with some surprise special guests as we recap Louisiana Monroe and get you ready for Temple.
Thanks, Drew. We'll be here Sunday on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. The Blue and Gray Show, where we talk Tigers with Tigers.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brett Norsworthy.
Rick Horrow will be our guest momentarily as we talk the business of sports with him every Friday after I tell you about the sponsor of this hour, DeSoto Auto Sales, where they specialize in late model cars with low mileage, high standards in the car industry, down on Goodman Road in DeSoto County. All the cars test-driven, checked out head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make, every model. If it's not on the lot, they'll go out and find it for you at DeSoto Auto Sales. No shortcuts. Check out the referrals online at DeSotoAutosales.com, where you're treated like family by kind, courteous employees, laid-back, down-home atmosphere, no high-pressure sales at DeSoto Auto Sales, but they do care about your time and will make you this guarantee. They know we're living in a world today that time matters, and they want you to have the ultimate car experience. You walk in, meet your sales rep, find the car you want, test drive it, credit approved, paperwork done, all in about 45 minutes. DeSotoAutosales.com, 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at 5704 Goodman Road at DeSoto Auto Sales. Visiting with us on Fridays this time from the NBC family of stations and visiting professor at Harvard and all-around sports enthusiast for sure, our friend Rick Horrow. And Rick Horrow, good afternoon to you. Are you ready for the start of another NBA season?
Yeah, about a month. But I'm ready for the start of the Yankees playoffs in about 20 minutes. I'm in Manhattan driving up in a cab. I was at the Rangers opening yesterday, so ready for the start of hockey. I was at that wild card in Washington after leaving after 7 innings, so that's stupid. But I'm ready for baseball. And I'm not ready for football. I'm going home to the Virginia Tech-Miami game. And then for the first time in months, the Dolphins will not lose this week. They have a bye.
Rick, what a sports week for you. Very nice. And the pucks did drop. What a job your friend Gary Bettman has done with that. And I want to start with the NBA with the preseason tipping off and marketers trying to zero in on the latest crop of talent. It's going to be led by Zion Williamson for sure, but we're very, very excited about the rookie we have here in Memphis with Ja Morant. I bet you knew Larry O'Brien at some point in your life. What a difference the league looks like now from when Larry O'Brien went from having his office broken into at the Watergate to running the NBA to where it is now.
Well, and I think a lot of it, obviously, it's not the fact that David Stern and Adam Silver are that much better human beings. It's just the time we live in, and Larry O'Brien, I think, had the best he could with what he had, which was tape delay. You know, the finals, some of the games weren't even shown. Some were shown tape delay. We now have social media. I think Adam's best friend in the whole wide world is Steve Ballmer because he came in just at the right time and he spent $2 billion for the Clippers. And even if nothing else happened with the NBA, Adam Silver's legacy is secure, although you could say the reason why that did happen was because David Stern did a great job of cultivating the league and creating the standard. I will come and take advantage of you guys one day during Grizzlies season at FedEx Forum. I want to see my boy Jason Allen. I want to see your team, and I want to have you guys take me to dinner. How's that?
Rick, you can count on every one of those things happening for sure. We'll treat you like the visiting dignitary that you'll be, and we'll even get Steve Earhart to join us. How about that?
Now we're way over the top, but I love it. You had me a free dinner, although I'm not sure you said that. I think I said that, but that's cool. We're all good.
And you know we'll take care of the tab because you know Earhart's not going to pay.
No. Earhart has those little alligator arms, and he's had them for a long time, so that's cool. But that's fine.
Steve is actually going back, I think this weekend, back to Boulder to a 50-year reunion of the 69 team that won the AutoZone Liberty Bowl that he now is the executive director of. This year in the NBA, and going forward with a star player like Zion in New Orleans, we hope a star player like Ja Morant in Memphis. Those two guys, Rick, are going to show you don't have to be on Broadway to have Broadway buzz. You can be in Memphis and New Orleans.
Well, but listen, I was at the Garden last night, and, Barrett, the other guy better be good for Broadway, too, because the Knicks are counting on a resurgence with a Canadian leading the way with him. So, yeah, the rookie class is really, really good. And one of the things about the NBA is it's a great mixture of old stars in old places, old stars in new places, and new stars in new places. And, of course, the NBA, unlike a lot of the other leagues, promote the superstar first and the team second. Nothing wrong with that. It's just you got to have superstars that are likable in order to make that promotion. And in their own way, James Harden is likable. CP3 with his State Farm commercials, Jason commercials, likable. LeBron is likable and hateable at the same time, which means people love talking about him. And Unibrow is great. That's going to be a great Clippers versus Lakers. I want to see how Brad Stevens can coach the post-Kyrie Irving Celtics. And then, it's called Waiting for, remember the book or novel, Waiting for Godot? It's called Waiting for Durant in Brooklyn. So you got a whole lot of really good stories in the NBA. Then you got the Grizzlies. So how about that?
Yeah, you got the Grizzlies starting over again, but starting over with two big pieces, we think, in Jaren Jackson and Ja Morant. And in Miami, you have Jimmy Butler. We know hockey. I was surprised with it. I won't say I was opposed to it. I didn't care, but I was shocked with the expansion to Las Vegas. It's worked. I'm a little surprised with the announcement to Seattle. Do you see any more expansion for the NHL?
Well, yes and no. I see the Houston market being taken care of because you got an arena that is capable of having an NHL team in a great market. That has a lot of different functions to it. The guy that just bought into Phoenix is a lot better developer than the previous 48 owners. So Phoenix was a team that Gary Bettman issues since they left Winnipeg to come down to Phoenix. And there will be no expansion, even though, Seattle topped the Vegas number, and now you're at $600 million as a franchise value, so that's tempting. But it's no more expansion for the NHL for a while, but with the kind of caveat that Houston/Phoenix taken care of in some way.
Rick, I felt a little sorry for the Oakland A's fans. They packed out that lovable dump there in the East Bay the other day, only to lose again. The A's, where will they play in the future? There was a great New York Times article about that stadium being it's so bad it makes it good, but it's really a bad stadium in Oakland, isn't it? I think we lost Rick. Try to catch back up with Rick Haro, and we'll finish up visiting with him. But it was a great New York Times story about just how bad the stadium in Oakland is. But it's the last remaining one. It's not the cookie cutter whatsoever, and felt for them in their loss the other day. They have so much trouble attracting a crowd and keeping one during the course of the year, and then they get one only to be heartbroken in the one-game wild card playoff. Rick Haro talking about going tonight to New York for that game against Minnesota. Twins in New York tonight, and everybody expecting it to be a lot of runs scored. Bruce Marshall from the goal sheet earlier talking about the over in the baseball. The rest of the weekend might be the play in the American League games. 1-0 Cardinals still trailing the Braves in the National League Divisional Series. Top of the sixth, Fulton Evans really with a great start for the Braves, and for Jack Flaherty, a pretty good start for him with the Cardinals. Rick Haro rejoins us. Rick, I was talking about the A's in Oakland. Will they stay in that bad ballpark or get a new one?
Let me just tell you before we start, we got to get disconnected on my bad driving through Central Park with a signal. I called back.
Okay.
I've never heard. When was the last time you heard a busy signal? I heard a busy signal. Do folks still have busy signals?
I heard that too, and I said, I guess Rick's not with us anymore. That's okay. The Central Park busy signal.
God bless you. Yes, Central Park busy signal. Yeah, listen, the A's are in the oldest dump in the league, and everybody knows it. And note to memo to Oakland Alameda County Coliseum commissioners: you just lost the Warriors; they're going to San Francisco. You just lost the Raiders; they're going to Vegas. You better do what you can to hold those A's, because nobody's going to go back to that dump, and you got to figure out how to get a stadium done, either the Jack London Square site or somewhere like it. The A's are a poster child, along with the Rays, of doing a whole lot with what they had, outkicking their coverage. If you have $50 to $70 million payroll, you get stuff done. Even though it's one and out for the A's this year, but Oakland and baseball, way back to Randy Jackson and Gene Tennis and Sal Bando, and all those guys that the people on the line are probably saying, "Who the hell are they?" But you and I both know they were a big deal. There's a lot of tradition in Oakland, and you just got to hope it gets done.
Yeah, they look great in those uniforms and that crowd there, but you're right about those 70s Oakland A's teams with Charlie O'Finley. He owned the ABA team here in Memphis in the 70s. Charlie O did. I think Central Park got Rick again. Drew, tell Rick we'll try to catch back up with him next week. We're having too much cell phone trouble. And one of the least surprising headlines of the week, I know St. Louis people and Cardinal fans and just St. Louis NFL fans will love to hear this one. It is the least surprising headline of the week. Los Angeles Rams owner Stan Kroenke and the Chargers owner, the Spanos family, they're already at odds over SoFi Stadium PSL sales. You knew that was going to happen. Kroenke upset about a lack. You knew it would happen. He's upset about a lack of a financial contribution from the Chargers for their shared Inglewood Stadium, which is set to open next year. Who can get along with Stan Kroenke other than the heiress to the Walton fortune?
I don't think a lot of people can. I think Stan Kroenke is starting to be getting the same boat as the Ursays. It's just so hard to like them or really want them to own your franchise, to be running your franchise, because they're just such unlikable people.
And he is. And I think you were telling me last Sunday night on the Blue and Gray show, y'all had Danton Bartow on, and he says it's go time right now for the Rams. the winning range is narrow.
Yeah, it was kind of a conversation off air mostly, but Danton, of course, was a former scout for the Rams, and he was saying, last year and this year, it's kind of a small window for the Rams to where if it doesn't happen now, it's probably not going to happen in the future. I think he was talking about, and hopefully I'm not misunderstanding the conversation that me and Danton had, but the way that he was trying to explain it to me is that they built it for a small window, and if this window closes, he doesn't know when the next window will open for them, if it ever does.
And that's not that unusual around pro sports, because nobody kind of using the 30-year mortgage terminology is really buying into that anymore. Nobody has the 5-year plan anymore in sports. It's really, sadly, unfortunately, around professional sports, it's too hand-to-mouth now with the free agency. And around college sports, you can't really plan much for the future now with the tidal wave of transfers and immediate eligibility for players at other places. So, sadly, around sports, it's win now mentality, and that is certainly the case with the Rams. That they were close last year getting to the Super Bowl, and could be close again this year. But another poor performance last night by their defense. We'll catch back up with Rick Harrow next Friday afternoon as he was making his way from Manhattan to the Bronx to see the Yankees and the Twins play tonight. When we did our ALDS picks yesterday, only one Twins picker yesterday, and he joins us now to talk all things Minnesota Twins from Monroe, Louisiana. That's a strange nexus to talk Twins in Monroe, Louisiana. The voice of the Tigers, Dave Wolo. Hey, Dave.
Kirby Puckett, baby.
In the name of Kirby Puckett and Harmon Killebrew and Zolo Versailles. How are you?
I forgot about Versailles. Yeah, I'm good. We are in the heart of north central Louisiana. That's where it is. Monroe, Louisiana. In case you're driving tomorrow, it's really only like 4.5 hours. That's all it takes to get to Monroe from Memphis. You really would just go basically straight down 55 into Jackson, and then you go west. So you're going to make a right-hand turn, and it's not that far. I mean, it's really, this is why most of the team, the players, do not have the Cajun names you get with other Louisiana schools. You get folks from Mississippi and Arkansas and Texas, and really this part of the country is surrounded by those three states.
Yeah, you get in more northern Louisiana, and you get a little less of the Creole nature, Cajun country.
Right.
As you get more south of I-20, and then you get south of I-10, and you're in another country.
Yep. By the way, congratulations! What a comeback by your Cardinals last night. Although they're losing today 1-0, but I'm expecting a comeback. That's hard to believe. Flaherty gave up a run early.
It was. The Braves went out there, and that was a good thing for their confidence, because you had to think they're a little bit rattled after that last night, and then to put one up against Jack Flaherty, who had a 0.91 ERA post the All-Star game. So to give up one in the very first inning, Fulton-Evich is dealing as well or better, no better than Jack Flaherty. So you got a good pitching duel going on down in Atlanta with the Braves leading 1-0. The Astros already with a 6-2 win. Twins and Yankees at 6:07. Dodgers hosting Nationals at 8:37. I said to Drew earlier, Dave, I think it's all just for funsies. Somewhere between Dodgers, Astros, and maybe probably Yankees. I think that's your 2019 champ. Everybody else, enjoy it and have fun with it, and I'm going to try to.
Well, I would agree with you, Astros and probably Dodgers, although I don't rule out the Braves, even though they're in this bit of a hole. But as you know, I've already picked the Twins, so you can say goodbye to the Yankees. That would be the Wolo kiss of death. I must say last night was really a cool evening. The floor, by the way, the floor unveiling was really one of the highlights. And it is interesting to me because I've heard varying opinions on the floor, and they come from interesting angles. There are some older people who love it and younger people who, you would think would not be old school, who just don't think it looks good. I think it is unique. I think whenever there is a highlight on TV that comes from FedEx Forum that is a Memphis Tiger basketball game, as soon as that scene unfolds with that floor, you will know it is Memphis, it is FedEx Forum. It is that unique, and I thought really, really cool. And then, the biggest cheer came up for Fortune, and I had no idea who Fortune was. I have no idea what song
it's Future.
It's Future, Dave. It's not Fortune. It's Future.
Oh, Future. I'm sorry, Future. You're right. Gosh.
He's going to make a fortune in the future.
And I learned so much about him last night. I mean, how can I make that mistake? He got the huge. I mean, that was the biggest cheer by far. That was bigger than Wiseman coming down the staircase. That was bigger than Penny on the big stage where the house band will play for the Grizzlies games. That's where he stood among smoke, with smoke coming out. Very dramatic, honestly. But the Future was the biggest of all of the applause, and it was sort of lost on me. But I'm not the audience they're going after. And there was, if there wasn't 18,200 guys, there was 18,000. The only time I saw any seat that was sort of available would have been above that stage, which was above where the band, and that was the entire marching band, was. There might have been a few empty seats in the terrace or the upper deck of that end zone. Otherwise, I mean legit full house.
And most people around the Grizzlies, particularly Stan Meadows, who works so very, very hard and avidly every day with Arnold Pearl and getting the building done on time, on budget. Right. I think the only regret the builders and the design of FedEx Forum, maybe a few too many terrace level seats, maybe have a little bigger lower bowl, and maybe instead of 18,000, just shave it at about 16,800.
Well, here, in my opinion, is there's two, and it's a great building. I love the building.
Great
Don't
building.
Get me wrong.
Timeless.
It's a great building. But if we're going to be critiquing that building, there's two things that kind of bug me about it. One, I was fortunate enough with Arnold Pearl and several other dignitaries to go via the city on a plane to Indianapolis to go look at their arena, which was then called Conseco. And to me, that's the greatest basketball building I've been in. And they were trying to model it after that. And to a great degree, they did, with the exception of this. If you go to Conseco, you will see in the lower bowl, the angle of the seats is all in unison. They are all at the same steepness from, and I'm making this up, but let's say the 50th row, which is the top row of the lower bowl, all the way down to the floor. For whatever reason in Memphis, and I still have never figured this out because they were supposed to follow that plan, they go with that same steepness, and if we start at row 50, all the way until you get to row 12, and then it sort of concaves or shallows out. I have never understood why they did that. So they lost the steepness, and the sight lines there are not very good. Those from 12 down to 1 are not as good seats as, say, 12 to 30, and they should be as good or better. They're actually priced higher, and they're not as good because they get shallowed out. If you're a shorter person, you're really getting short-changed. So I never understood that. And the great thing that I loved about the pyramid was that I believe that was 20,000 seats. That was 12,000 that were on the lower bowl and 8,000 in the upper. And here, it's the exact opposite. You've got 8,000 in the lower bowl and 10,000 in the upper. And really, it's not 8,000 because there's a couple of that's more like 6,000, and there's 2,000 in the club, which is still pretty good. But the lower bowl was not built with enough people in mind. So I agree with you on your one point, and I take it a step further about those shallowed-out seats.
Short people, we never catch a break, Dave.
We're vertically challenged. It is a challenge, I'm telling you. That's why I have to have a pad when I'm sitting downstairs at the press room.
Yes, we do.
You guys still with me? Am I okay?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
You're doing just fine. Looking forward to tomorrow's game at 2:45 for the Tigers. I'm in Oxford. We kick at 6:30 against Vanderbilt. Come on the air at 4:30.
So we will we'll be, I guess, about the third quarter when you guys come in. So you get to know a little bit about where this game is at. And you know, frankly, this is a game, if Ole Miss is going to turn things around this year, which, you know, they still have a chance, obviously. This is a game they can and really have to do it.
We will do all our picks at 5:30 when we do the First National Bank and Trust Football Friday forecast.
No doubt about that. But it was moving last night, and you know, again, Penny backed up the championship thing. I asked about that statement when we did a little pregame or pre-show interview with him last night, Brett, and honestly, he just says, "Look, I'm not lying. I say these things sincerely." Now, I think, and I mentioned this to him during that interview, I do think that there is a strategy that he has behind all of this. Again, I don't think he was all that enamored with all of these rankings in this preseason that are not putting Memphis where number one recruiting classes usually are put. And Penny himself will say this is sort of a message to him that, you know, he's a second-year coach, and they don't know that he can coach this kind of talent. So he puts it on himself, but I think the message was, no, we're good enough. We're going to win a national title, and maybe that will help some of those preseason rankings. I don't know, but I think there is a method to his madness. But he goes, to me, well, maybe I should just shut up. Then he laughs, and he goes, but honestly, I'm just saying what I really think. I think we have enough talent. We got the staff. We can win a national title, and why not say it if that's what you believe?
And now the work starts for the Tigers after a fun night last night. Cardinals trail 1-0, top of the seventh. One out. Ozuna already lined out. Mike Fultonevich rolling for the Braves.
This portion of the show brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch, home of assurance. The product's so good that they have the number one certified pre-owned car dealership in Memphis the last 11 years. Let me explain what I mean. To be a certified pre-owned car at Homer Skelton Hyundai, it's got to be a Hyundai, and these cars last forever because they get this 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Every car does, and they last. In fact, it's 60,000 miles, but they're actually going to up it a little bit because these cars last so long. Then there's the service. Beyond compare at Homer Skelton Hyundai, the perfect marriage of technology and service. This is the way car business should be done. Find out for yourself. Just take Lamar. It becomes Highway 78. The first exit in Mississippi is Craft Road. Turn left. See my friend Chris True and all the gang at Homer Skelton Hyundai.
You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. Me in Oxford, Dave and Monroe and Drew back in our Family Leisure studios in Memphis on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1.
Get happy with Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. Weekday afternoons from 1 till 3 on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Memphis, it's official. Crab King Seafood is where it's at. For the most flavored seafood and biggest plates, run to a Crab King's near you. Visit our Bartlett Cordova location at 7140 Stage Road or our East Memphis location at 5992 Knight Arnold Road. Starting this week, get 3 juicy snow crabs, 17 shrimps, 2 whole sausages, 2 corn, 2 eggs, and a large side of potatoes for only $43.99. That's right, $43.99. The price, the portions, the service is why Crab Kings is number one. Make the right choice the first time. Make it Crab Kings. Come and devour our tasty snow crabs, king crabs, shrimp, salmon, and catfish. Enjoy Memphis' best tasting pastas with your choice of toppings. Visit our Bartlett Cordova locations at 7140 Stage Road or our East Memphis location at 5992 Knight Arnold Road. Crab Kings is open Tuesday through Sunday. For more information, Google Crab Kings Memphis or download the app. Crab Kings, a Memphis original.
Starlight Lounge presents An Evening with the Progressive Box.
I wrote this next song for a gal from Cheyenne. Should never have told her how Progressive's collision insurance covers injured dogs and cats. She said if they could love her pooch as much as she did, then so could I. Well, I couldn't. This next song's called Cat Person. It was a rough, rough night in Wyoming. The cat was out of the bag.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pet coverage not available in New Hampshire and North Carolina.
Get your gun, Nelly, and saddle up Penelope. It's Western Trading Days at Sunrise Buick GMC. Old-time trading prices on over 700 new Buicks and GMC trucks, and the Sunrise Used Car Corral has over 500 in stock. Branch managers have been told to cut prices to the bone, and remember, you can bring your car to Sunrise Service no matter where you bought it. If you're a good person with bad credit, SunriseMemphis.com will help you put one of your brand on these little fillies. Free hot dogs and Cokes at the Chuck Wagon. Western Trading Days going on now at all 3 Sunrise locations. We make it fun to buy a car again.
Farmers Insurance knows that when you're in the car and that song comes on, yes, that's the one, you have no choice but to pull out your imaginary drumsticks and smash those cymbals and stomp on that kick pedal, which unfortunately is the accelerator pedal. And we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent who knows a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129.
Time for the Friday football forecast from First National Bank and Trust, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. For real estate, commercial, ag, hunting, and recreational, contact them at fnbt.com or 901-498-5763.
Friday football forecast from First National Bank and Trust, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. Real estate isn't something you purchase or develop or desire. It's something you appreciate, respect, and know. With real estate, there's no gray area. You either know it or you don't. First National Bank and Trust, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas, they've known it since their beginning in 1886. Clients depend on First National Bank because they know real estate. Brooks Winchester, Nick Sutton, and many more can assist you in your acquisition of that hunting land, farmland, a construction project. Let First National Bank and Trust make your dreams a reality. 775 Ridge Lake Boulevard, Suite 140 in Memphis, 901-498-5763 or fnbtmemphis.com. That's fnbtmemphis.com. For commercial real estate, residential construction, or recreational and agriculture financing, let First National Bank and Trust help you, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas, where I've had an account and been a friend my entire life. The first game we will pick will be between Auburn visiting the Swamp. Auburn, a 2.5-point favorite. First top 10 matchup between these two undefeated teams in the Swamp since number 10 Florida beat number 4 LSU on October 6th. 2012. Florida 12-5 in top 10 matchups at the Swamp. Florida and Boston College are the only FBS teams with 7 different players with an interception. That's a lot of guys getting picks for the Gators. Auburn won just 3 of the last 16 at Gainesville. Gus has never played at Florida. It's the only SEC team that he hadn't defeated. 299 consecutive PATs for Auburn kickers dating back to 2013. That's an NCAA record. The NCAA record is 302, so they could break that tomorrow, and the NCAA record of 302 held by Florida State. Auburn, the visitor, 2.5-point favorite at Florida, the CBS game day on a weekend of not a lot of great matchups. This is the premier one. I'm going to take Auburn, lay the 2.5, low-scoring affair. Bruce Marshall loves the under in this. I do too. My final score, Auburn wins by the 2.5 and well under the posted Vegas over and under. 21-13, Auburn over Florida. Dave?
I'm becoming a Gus Malzahn believer, and I think he gets over the Florida deal. It's only given away 2.5. I think he wins this game comfortably. I do. I like Auburn in a big way here.
Drew?
Y'all are going to hate me for doing this. We're doing a group lock again. I got to take Auburn. I just think Bo Nix has just shown me a lot since that Oregon game, and I think they win pretty easily. I think they win by about 10 points.
Group lock 1-7 this year on college and pro football, but 2-0 this week on baseball. So we're turning the tide on the group lock. The next game, the game that Dave Willoshin will call tomorrow at 2:45 on the Tiger Radio Network. Tigers 15.5-point favorites down in Monroe. I don't know if the cool air's got all the way to Monroe, but it'll be cooler than it's been all year for any games, as we've had a scorcher all year. Tigers 4-0 for the first time since 2015. Since 2013, the Tigers 5-0 against Sun Belt teams. Only Memphis and Troy have returned a kickoff for a touchdown in each of the last 4 years. Antonio Gibson was the 100-yard receiver against Navy, and Kenneth Gainwell the 100-yard rusher against Navy. 27th straight start for ULM quarterback Caleb Evans. Running back Josh Johnson leads the Sun Belt in rushing, and he's 8th overall in the FBS. And Dave told us earlier this week in meeting with the coaches, and I agree, maybe the best definitely the best offensive team the Tigers have faced all year. Big favorites, 15.5. I don't know if they get there easily, but they get there. The Tigers win 34-14. That's 15.5 the points. Tigers win, and they cover the 15.5. Dave?
I told you yesterday that quarterback is the only active quarterback in the NCAA with over 7,000 yards passing and 1,400 yards running the ball. His offensive line, 4 of them are fifth-year seniors. They'll move the ball. Memphis will win this game. Louisiana Monroe will cover this game. This game will go down to the end.
Oh, wow.
But the Tigers will win it in the 7 to 10 point range. The Warhawks cover, but Memphis goes 5-0 on their way, hoping to equal what they did in 15, 8-0 on a game day appearance at Tigerland.
So, Dave, you think a fourth quarter pitch battle?
I do. I think it will come down to the end of the game. I don't think this will be a runaway.
Drew?
Oh, Dave, I hope you are very, very wrong in your analysis. And those numbers that you threw out for the Warhawks of Louisiana Monroe, if you would have told me those numbers last year, I would have been pretty worried as well. But the way Adam Fuller has this defense playing, I don't know how many offenses could score, 20, 25-plus points to keep up with the Tigers' high-powered offense. So I'm going to take the Tigers to cover with the 15.5.
That running back, Josh Johnson, do you realize every time he touches the ball, he gets 7.5 yards?
Big time player. 8th overall in FBS rushing.
So
big time player.
You guys both go Memphis to win and to cover. I go Memphis to win, but ULM to cover.
You get the most important category, and that's the left-hand column for sure. We're group lock on left-hand column, but on the point spreads, we are not. Drew and I taking the Tigers, and Dave taking the Tigers to win, but Lou Monroe with the points. If the Tigers aren't the darlings of the AAC this year, then the SMU Mustangs, they are. 6:30 tomorrow night. They play at home at Gerald Ford Stadium, no relation to the former president, on the campus of SMU, laying the 13.5. It will be SMU leading the all-time series 14-11 over Tulsa, 9-4 in games played in Dallas. The first 4 games, Tulsa's had 11 different players have their first start. Very young team. Tulsa playing a little bit better. 19 rushing touchdowns for SMU already this year. They only had 17 all of last year. 10 sacks for the SMU defense last week. And remember, SMU opened the season with a 37-30 win over Arkansas State in Jonesboro on opening day. I was mildly surprised at that win for SMU in Jonesboro. We're not surprised anymore.
They were the underdogs in that game. Do you realize that? The Mustangs were the dogs at Arkansas State.
That's right, and they are showing, go out and win, take care of business, and here comes the attention. I think it'll be easy for them tomorrow against Tulsa in Dallas. SMU laying the 13.5. They win 35-10. Dave?
Well, you realize Tulsa has beaten teams that beat Missouri and that beat Arkansas.
Yeah.
So Tulsa is a team that is better than we thought beginning of the year, much like SMU. But I'm a believer in SMU. I think they've got it going. Their offense is getting better as the season goes on. I think SMU wins and covers. I agree with you.
Dave takes SMU. Drew?
I thought about changing my pick, but I'm going to stick with my gut when I first wrote all these downs. I'm going to take Tulsa. I think SMU wins. They do become bowl eligible 6-0, but I think Tulsa covers only by about 3 points. I think SMU wins by round 10.
So you take Tulsa, Dave, and I take SMU in that game, but you think SMU will win the game?
Yes, SMU will win the game, but only by about 7 or 10.
6:30 tomorrow night in Oxford, a game that you can hear right here on Sports 56, 87.7, 96.1. Pre-game, I start at 4:30 in the Grove with Richard Cross. Ole Miss, a 7.5-point favorite over Vandy. Almost must win for both of these teams, trying to get to the requisite 6. Ole Miss trying to avenge an overtime loss last year late in the season on a cold late Saturday night to Vanderbilt. 5-5 in the last 10 for these two teams. Homecoming at Ole Miss, 74-15-2 all-time at homecoming. Jerrion Ely was the first Ole Miss player to rush, receive, and return a kickoff for a touchdown last week at Tuscaloosa since Jalen Walton did it in 2012. Ole Miss rushed for 279 yards against Alabama, but this game has been really tight. I said 5-5 in the last 10. It's 5-7 in favor of Vandy in the last 12. 7 for Vandy, 5 for Ole Miss over that last 12. Quarterback Riley Neal, a transfer from Ball State, completing about 63% of his passes this year for Vandy. They have a good tailback, a good tight end, and a good wide receiver, and we'll just wonder how good a defense Derek Mason's Commodores are. Dave, your pick first.
Well, if Ole Miss is going to have any chance for any kind of bowl eligibility this year, and frankly, to even save Matt Luke's job, I think this is a game they have to have. These games have been close. They are at home, and they seem to be getting a little bit better on the offensive side. Maybe this freshman quarterback is going to be the real deal. They put 31 up on Alabama. I don't know if that's misleading because it was Alabama's 2s and 3s that they scored the majority of the points on, but I think they got some confidence on that one. I like Ole Miss to win this game by at least 10 points, so I'd like them to win and to cover. I also, and I don't know what Bruce said about this, I think the 63 in this game, I like the under in this game. Yeah, so give me the under and give me Ole Miss.
Under and Ole Miss for Dave. Drew?
I think Ole Miss wins the game. I think it's going to be a close one, and if I was actually a betting man, I was going to put money on this game, I wouldn't touch it because of where I think the score is going to end up. I think Ole Miss is going to win by 7 points even, so I'm going to take Vandy for the half-point hook.
I agree with Dave's assessment on everything, including for these coaches needing this win, for Matt Luke and his future, and maybe even for Derek Mason in his future. I think Ole Miss wins the game, covers the 7.5. I have the Rebels winning 38-17. College football lock. I'll go first. I'm going to take Georgia and lay all those points at Tennessee. It was 41-0 2 years ago. Won't be the same score, but close enough. 42-6. Dogs roll in Knoxville.
My lock, I like Army. They are getting 3.5 at home against Tulane. I know Tulane's a good team, but I saw Army play Michigan. I saw the physicality that they have. And I think Tulane's going to have a hard time at West Point doing that. Give me the Army and give me 3.5.
No, your lock's got to be a favorite. So you.
Oh, it has to be a favorite?
Yes, and then your shock's the underdog. No, it does not. That's not correct. That's not correct. You can have a dog.
The shock has to be the underdog, but the lock, right? That's what I always thought. The shock had to be the underdog, but the lock can be anybody. You just like the bet.
That's fine. So you like the Army plus the 3.5 over Tulane. Is that right?
Correct. That's what I said. Yes, sir.
All right, Drew.
I'm right there with you, Brett. I'm going to take Georgia minus 24.5 at Tennessee. This game could have been, the point spread could have been 35.5, and I still would have taken it. Give me Georgia.
College football shock time. Now, it has to be a dog. And, Dave, I think I know who your dog is. You've talked about it.
Yeah.
And I talked about Jordan Love at Utah State. It may be the best quarterback LSU sees the rest of the year, not named Tua Tagovailoa. Is it Utah State?
Well, you've got my shock. Yeah, I like Utah State in this game, not to win the game, but you're getting 28.5. This is a 3-1 team with a great quarterback. I believe they'll put some points on that LSU defense, at least enough to cover 28.5.
and 11 o'clock kick time in Baton Rouge. What kind of shape, quite literally, what kind of shape will that crowd be in? Will they have all come in from last night yet at 11 o'clock in Baton Rouge tomorrow morning? Drew, your college football shock pick.
My shock, I'm going to go to a Big 12 matchup in 4-0 Baylor, and Matt Rule, having been extended through 2027 a couple days ago, he's going to keep it rolling. He's going to go 5-0 at Kansas State this week. He's plus 1.5. Give me Baylor.
I would love to see the terms of his contract on that extension. If there's NFL language in there, if an NFL team came after him, everybody awakening to the great job Matt Rule's done in Waco. So you take Baylor plus the 1.5 over Kansas State. My college football shock will be Iowa straight up. I'm going to take the points. That's all I have to do. But Iowa wins the game 24-23 over Michigan.
Wow.
Better coach, better quarterback.
Great
for
pick.
Iowa.
Whoa, goodbye, Jim Harbaugh. Whoa.
Maybe so. Noon on Sunday, NFL picks. Bears 5.5 over Oakland. Dave, I know your pick.
Come on. This is the Bears. This is Khalil Mack telling John Gruden, you never should have left the booth. Dude, Bears win big.
Drew?
I made the mistake last week of picking the Vikings over the Bears, and that just was embarrassing. So I'm going to take Chicago this week.
I'm going against both of y'all. No group lock here. Oakland plus the 5.5. Raiders straight up 17-7 over your Bears, Dave. Noon on Sunday. New Orleans 3.5 over Tampa Bay. I'm going to take the Buccaneers straight up over y'all Super Bowl pick in the Saints. Buccaneers 2 weeks in a row. Straight up winner. Buccaneers 27-20. Getting the 3.5. Don't need it over New Orleans. Your pick, Drew.
You got way too much trust in famous Jameis. He had one good week, and now he's going to beat the Saints. Okay, you can waste a pick like that. I'm not. Give me Nola.
Dave?
Teddy Bridgewater is coming on. This is in New Orleans. This is that defense. Jameis is going to be running for his life. This is almost a total lock. I cannot believe that Brett is going with Tampa in this game. Give me the Saints big. They win by 10.
Did TJ pay you for that pick?
He did not, but we have communicated quite a bit today over the Rays. My NFL lock, I'm going to take Carolina minus the 3.5 over Jacksonville. Panthers win 24-10, easily cover the 3.5. Dave?
I like the Houston Texans. They're giving away 5.5 at home to Atlanta. I don't trust Atlanta. And the Texans are good. Texans easy.
Drew?
I'm going to take the L.A. Chargers minus 6.5 over Denver, and I hate to do it because I love Joe Flacco. He's personally one of my favorite players of all time, but Denver just has nothing to show for anything that they've tried to accomplish this year, going winless thus far. Give me the Chargers minus 6.5.
And you avoided the dollar fine by not calling them the San Diego Chargers. Shock time. Must be an underdog. I'm going to go 3 weeks in a row with Daniel Jones and the Giants. Give me the 5.5. Giants win straight up over the Vikings at MetLife Stadium on Sunday, 20-17. Dave?
Gosh, the guy's becoming Daniel Jones lover. I'm amazed. Buffalo, even without a healthy quarterback, they are getting 3.5 at Tennessee. I don't have any faith in the Titans. Buffalo showed me last week they're really a good all-around team. I'm going to take Buffalo and the 3.5.
Drew?
I'm going against your lock pick, Brad. Give me Minshew sanity. Give me Jacksonville plus 3.5 straight up win at Carolina. I can't believe you gave up on your Jags like that. Come on.
Your Jaguars. You're going against your Jaguars every week now with the guy you hate, Daniel Jones. You're just absolutely confused, Brett Norsworthy.
A little mensanity for Drew Barrett. Look, for real estate, commercial, ag, hunting, and recreational, contact the good people at First National Bank and Trust. Contact them at fnbt.com or call them at 901-498-5763, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas.
And as the weekend approaches, you want to stock up. You go to our favorite place. We've been there a bunch already this year. We love that little log cabin at Poplar and St. Nick, 4848 Poplar Avenue to be exact, right down from Clark Tower. That's the place to go to see Eddie Connor and his family. They've been around since 1969, serving all of Memphis, in particular East Memphis. The best of spirits, the bargain of spirits, all the accessories. They will help you out. Go ask about a wine. If they don't have it, they'll call the winery to find out if they can get it for you. That's the kind of service you get. Go stock up, because it's Friday, and the place to go is the Spirit Shop.
Taco Bell Crunch Time is next. You're listening to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find Real Sports Talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
You have to be up in 5 hours. 2 hours. 6 minutes, and you haven't slept a wink. ZzzQuil Pure Z's is a drug-free blend of botanicals with an optimal dose of melatonin, so you can fall asleep naturally and wake with no next-day grogginess. So tonight, try new ZzzQuil Pure Z's from the sleep experts at Vicks ZzzQuil.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Are you tired of all the clouds and bad weather? Rain brings pollutants that can wreak havoc on your car's finish, but there is someone who can help. Car Wash USA Express has introduced their most advanced car wash yet with the exclusive Polymer Pro Wash, creating a stronger, more consistent protective sealant for your car's finish. Polymer Pro can only be found at Car Wash USA Express, where attendants are always on duty to keep you and your vehicle safe. For more information and locations, visit carwashusaexpress.com. Car Wash USA Express, because a dirty car is a dirty shame.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
Our final portion of the week, Brett in Oxford, Wolo in Monroe, Louisiana, Drew in the Family Leisure Studios in the Flynn Broadcasting Center. This final portion of the show is a place you might want to head this weekend. That would be Miramichi, the #1 public golf course in the state of Tennessee. And Miramichi's always getting better. I told you about the new agronomy technology they have that is going to aerate not just greens, but it will also aerate the fairways. Now, they need a little water out there if nature will help out and give all the golf courses a little rain. But I think you'll love the beauty of Miramichi. #1 for a reason in the state of Tennessee as far as public golf courses go. The challenge, the beauty, the back nine is like taking a walk in the woods, even like mountains, because there's streams and waterfalls. There are hills on the back that will just make you appreciate nature. I'm telling you, it's a challenge and it's beautiful. It's just fun to play Miramichi, and it's not far. It's in Woodstock. That's halfway between Memphis and Millington. 27 minutes from my driveway in East Memphis. It's only 15 minutes from downtown. Go see why it's #1 in the state every year when it comes to public golf. Go see Miramichi. It's time for Crunch Time.
This is Geraldo. It is crunch time.
You are looking live.
It's crunch time.
In your life have you seen anything like that?
We'll take questions again for the student athletes at this time, please.
He's a professional. He's pretty classy for his age.
In the crunch time, that's the frustrating part.
Little Penny could make some appearances this year.
Okay, I'm not huge into stats.
Has it always been this way?
It's crunch time, so I got a different mind state.
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
Is this thing working?
Immediately when the buzzer sounds, he lets out this shriek.
He threw those ears forward. He was in stroke mode.
This is stupid. It's obviously crunch time.
Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day.
I learned today and learned last night also with the Dodgers, but also today with the Astros, that we all could just be playing for funsies. The Dodgers made it look easy last night. The Astros made it look easy this afternoon. Finally, after a record Dodgers drought between the last time they won it, 31 years. They've never gone that long between titles from winning their first one. It could be ending. And for the Astros, that drought was no drought at all, only 2 years for them. Cardinals only 3 hits today, and Yadier Molina with 2 of those as they now trail 3-0 against the Braves. Fulton Nevich has put up the zeros, Dave. What'd you learn today?
Well, I'm like you. I learned the Astros are the favorites in my mind to win the World Series. I think Tampa is a team that has played hot, has been good down the stretch, and they were very, very complete in their performance with hitting and pitching. And do these names, Justin Verlander and Altuve, did they bring up any memories? Well, they're really good in the playoffs. They were today. They were the 2 stars, and their 6-2 win. And they learned that the Braves aren't going away. The Braves are going to beat Jack Flaherty. And that,
that's a big
I
statement.
thought this would be reversed. It's 3-0. Atlanta in the 8th, so if this is a tied series at 1-1, really I kind of figured it would be that way because I didn't think Flaherty would lose. But the Cards had the chance in their hands, and now they're down 3-0. That's not to say they won't come back because they came back yesterday. But this was big for the Braves to answer this afternoon against Flaherty.
Big answer for the Braves. I started the show basically with this, Drew, on everybody slow down on the crushing of Ronald Acuna. It was not a good look. I'm sure it got addressed by the right ones, the locker room sheriff and the management, but he's a young guy, a superstar. He will be in big moments for the next 10 or 15 years with the Braves. I bet you he acquits himself. I bet you he atones maybe in this series, maybe in this October, but for sure in the future. Slow down on crushing young people. Young people do young things, and sometimes young and stupid's young and stupid. Dave, what is it you could have done without?
I could do without people that want to put down Memphis Madness or, put down things that they don't quite understand music or what it might be. This was a show that put Memphis on or continues to put Memphis on a stage. It elevates the relevancy of the program nationwide. When you get, and I know I didn't quite remember his name, but when you get a national guy like
Future.
When you get a national guy like Future who comes to your place, and so like last year it was all about local guys that were big. This was national guys that were big. That recruits a lot. Duke just, by the way, picked up their 4th 5-star guy today. You've got to figure out ways when you're not Duke to get on the map. That's what Memphis Madness is all about. Congratulations to them, and I wish people wouldn't put it down.
Dave, I so agree, and I voiced a lot of that yesterday beforehand. I think some of it's a little petty. Let people enjoy what they want to enjoy. Dave, we will be listening and watching the game that you're doing tomorrow from Monroe. You have a safe Friday night and Saturday, and we'll see you on Monday, okay?
You got it. I look forward to it. Thanks, guys.
You got it. And we'll be keeping a close eye on a lot of things like that game between the Tigers and ULM tomorrow. All this great baseball. I've loved the 4 games today. I like it constantly on. 2 tomorrow, 2 on Sunday, 1 early Monday before we're even back at 3 o'clock. What will be the situation for the Cardinals and the Braves? Where will that series be standing when we're back together on Monday? On Sunday, the Grizzlies at FedEx Forum. Tiger basketball down to the real hard work now after the fun night last night. Couldn't agree more with Dave on the fun last night. Had ball. If you didn't enjoy it, it probably wasn't for you then last night. It was for Tiger fans. Ohio State at home against Michigan State. Cal at Oregon. Auburn at the Swamp. Ole Miss and Vandy both desperate for a win. And how bad will Georgia beat Tennessee? There's not only thing in doubt is the margin of the Georgia victory, right? No upset there. Keep an eye on my Cowboys against the Packers. And I'll keep an eye on my undefeated Maple Leafs and the Pucks this weekend, Drew. For Dave, for Drew, I'm Brett. Everybody have a safe, great weekend. Enjoy the sports and be back with us on Monday at 3 o'clock on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats and Drew Barrett on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 87.7 and 96.1.
I love successes in business. 20 years ago, a guy named Matt Eflin decided when he graduated from the University of Memphis, he was going to get into the insurance business. And man, did he ever get into it. Now, he's got several offices around the area, all to protect you. The main one is in Bartlett, 8099 Stage Hills Boulevard. And the reason Matt is so successful, he's very young, but he's been so successful because he has a unique approach. He tries to have a one-on-one evaluation with each individual to check out their insurance needs. And he specializes in all types of insurance, personal insurance, business insurance. Basically, he sits you down and he asks you whether it's a business or whether it's your home, your family, what's the most important thing you want to protect? And then he figures out your options, collaborates with you, and voila, you're protected. 901-757-2315. That's the Eflin Insurance Group.
I'm here with Robert Cox, kitchen manager of the Rendezvous Restaurant. Tell us about those great ribs at the Rendezvous.
Rendezvous stands alone in a unique barbecue style, only found in Memphis, Tennessee. We don't smoke our ribs, we char-broil them. The guys cooking our ribs have been doing it for 30 years. Mr. Charlie Virgos taught the guys the technique himself, and still to this day, they teach newcomers that come in the door. After our ribs come out the pit, we pre-cut every order, so you easily can tear them apart. We baste our ribs on a plate and sprinkle our seasoning all over them.
So, Robert, are ribs what everyone comes to the Rendezvous for?
The beef brisket is now our second best seller behind the ribs. We also have lamb riblets, half chicken, pork shoulder, chopped chicken, cheese and sausage plate. Nachos are fantastic. We also carry a Greek salad. The list goes on.
Robert, where can we find out more about all of these great options?
Our restaurant menu is online at hogsfly.com, and recently we just added our catering menu online.
Mr. Charlie Virgos' Rendezvous Restaurant, a family-owned restaurant in downtown Memphis, in the alley since 1948.
Get your gun, Nelly, and saddle up Penelope. It's Western Trading Days at Sunrise Buick GMC. Old-time trading prices on over 700 new Buicks and GMC trucks, and the Sunrise Used Car Corral has over 500 in stock. Branch managers have been told to cut prices to the bone, and remember, you can bring your car to Sunrise Service no matter where you bought it. If you're a good person with bad credit, sunrisememphis.com will help you put one of your brand on these little fillies. Free hot dogs and Cokes at the Chuck Wagon. Western Trading Days going on now at all 3 Sunrise locations. We make it fun to buy a car again.
You're in charge of hiring, and Indeed has solutions. Like Company Pages, where you can get people excited about working for you. And we give you this toy monkey, which will bang its cymbals when the right resume appears. Okay, there is no monkey.
I said there is no monkey!
But Company Pages, for sure.
See why independent research by Silk Road shows Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. Visit Indeed.com/promo to try Company Pages for free. Terms and conditions apply.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
I'm Brian Fenley.
We are Fox Sports! Do you know who this is?
Fox Sports Radio's Odd Couple
One guy's married. One guy is divorced. One guy has no kids. One guy has 2 beautiful daughters. One guy went to college in a cornfield in Ohio. One guy went to an Ivy League school in the big city. One guy spends his Sunday morning seated in the pew.
Does this seem weird to anybody else?
The other spends it throwing money at the pole. Can these 2 sports writers share a radio show without driving each other crazy? From the Geico studios of Fox Sports Radio, here's the odd couple, Chris Broussard and Rob Parker.
Oh, yeah! It is the wow! I did have a lot of extra gusto in that.
Wow,
man! I gotta, if I do say so myself. But anyway, it is the odd couple, Chris Broussard, alongside my partner,
Rob Parker.
And we are coming to you live from the Geico Fox Sports Radio studios. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. And we are going to help you usher in the weekend. It's a TGIF. Thank God it's Friday here with the odd couple. But spend the next 3 hours with us, and you will not be sorry. Whether you're kicking it tonight, you can spend the first 3 hours with us and then go out and have a good time. Or if you're just cooling out at the crib, turn on the odd couple, keep on the odd couple while you watch the games, and enjoy it. We have plenty to talk about: football, basketball, baseball, of course, and a lot of good action last night and a lot of good action today, too. So we will get into all of that. We'll have our celebrity corner as we do every Friday in less than 30 minutes at the bottom of this hour. Let me bring in my man, Rob Parker. What's happening, man?
What's happening, Mr. Chris Broussard? How's your Friday so far?
Very good. Very good. I watched Verlander on TV throw that gem.
Boy, let me tell you, he had a no-no going.
Yeah.
How many hits did he wind up giving up? I saw only one.
Well, the first one was, in the 5th or something?
Yeah, it was like in the 5th inning.
Yeah.
And it was clean. It was a clean single. Nothing to it. But then I had to travel, so I didn't get to see like how it ended. But he pitched great. He's been pitching great.
He looked good. And the Astros did nothing to discourage me from my pick.
No, they're
of
good.
Them winning it all.
So
Garrett Cole coming up next, man.
So Verlander did just give up the 1 hit in 7 innings. You can't ask for more than that.
Nope.
8 strikeouts. That's a stud.
Yep. All right, let's introduce the crew.
And I give the Braves credit for a bad loss last night. They bounced back.
Well, let's see.
They're up 3-0. I'm just saying they're up 3-0. Relax. It ain't over yet.
3-1. That's what I'm saying.
It ain't
let's
over.
see.
But I'm saying they could have been down and out. That's a young team, after losing like that. But they got a chance. So, all right, let's welcome in the Odd Couple crew. Chris wouldn't be able to do this fine radio program without him. Gavin, of course, is our producer, filling in for Rob G. Alex is our engineer. Brian Fenley is our sports anchor. He'll keep us updated throughout the program. And Sam is our intern. And, yes, they're all on the other side of the glass. Chris Broussard on this Friday. Let's kick some ass.
Let's do just that, Rob Parker. And the Braves were doing just that. Up 3-1 yesterday, as you mentioned in game 1, and fall apart in the 9th and end up losing 7-6. But it seems that, Rob, all everyone's talking about is not the bullpen falling apart in Atlanta, but it's the young stud, Ronald Acuna Jr., not running out a fly ball. He thought it was a homer, so he carries the bat with him 2/3 of the way down the first base line, jogging slowly. Ball hits the wall, bounces off, and he ends up getting a single instead of what should have been an easy stand-up double. And his teammates and the manager, Brian Snitker, let him have it. I'm sure we got some sound of that. Let's hear what they had to say. We don't have it yet.
Yeah.
All right. We got to get that sound soon.
We'll get that sound.
But here we go.
Brian, you kind of saw the best and the worst of Ronald Acuna tonight. I mean, obviously he had a great day at the plate. He made a play or two in the outfield and we also saw the other side of it. Just can you maybe take us through a couple of things he did tonight? First of all, in the first inning, was he stealing on his own?
Yeah, he had a green light, and he picked a breaking ball. Then he picked it and threw him out. But he was on his own. Wish we'd got started a little earlier in the evening, honestly, but it's good. We still came back, had Ty run at the plate when the game ended after getting down really good. It was just a situation where, you talk about how the ball bounces and, there was some balls just inside the line over the course of the game, and it's the way it goes.
All right. Well, what Snicker said about Acuna, we didn't hear that.
Right.
But here's what Freddie Freeman, his teammate, said. It is frustrating. That can't happen in the postseason. It can't happen in the regular season. Unfortunately, tonight it did. Now, remember, Rob, in August, he got benched for a game or during a game after doing the same thing. And, of course, this time they didn't bench him and didn't bench him during that game or tonight. He came back, hit a home run in the ninth last night. So what are your thoughts? I mean, how do you feel like about all of this, how the manager handled it? Should he have benched him? And how the teammates handled it by calling him out?
I think if it was his first offense, I'd have a problem with them calling him out publicly after the first offense. But it's not the first offense, and that's why I don't have as big of a problem with them doing it publicly, because they've already talked to him, so it shouldn't have happened. Do you know what I mean, Chris?
Right.
If it was the first time, this is a young superstar, dude. He's young. So if he did it and it was his first time, I'm good with that. I would have said, hey, pull him aside. Dude, we can't have that. We need you on second base. You got to run hard. You got to run everything out. We can't take anything for granted, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But because this is a second offense or third offense, or he's done it, you have to let him know we can't have this anymore. And this is the public embarrassment that you put out there. I just think it's hard because you wonder if you really want to make a point, Chris, what about benching him today for game 2? But you're not going to do that because you know how big of a stick he's carrying, right?
I'm with you. There's no way I'm benching him. There's no way. And you saw tonight, in the 8th, was or 7th, he just hit a double, and he ran hard.
Right. He got the message.
He's learned his lesson, I think. He got the message. He's 1 for 4 tonight, I believe, but he ran it out. There's no way you can bench him. This is professional baseball.
Right.
This is big boy baseball.
This ain't the high school team.
Right. No.
Right.
No. It's win or lose, period. And sometimes you have to deal with attitudes and things you may not want to get the best players out there. But here's what I'll say.
And here's the other thing, Chris, real quick. Because if you take him out of the lineup to make a point, you're actually hurting his teammates.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, here's our opportunity. We played all this all year. Now the best guy on the team is not playing to make a point. That's right. The hard part.
As much as they all called him out, I'm sure they wanted him in the lineup. I'm sure they wanted him in the lineup tonight. And he's helped them deliver, and looks like they could and should get a win. Here's what I'll say. I don't mind them calling him out. And it looks like the way they did